Okay, so I should be live now. Let's make sure. Okay. Okay. So, let's talk for a bit about what just happened. If you're watching this in post, it's not going to be evident what immediately occurred. What happened was that at the end of session number 3, my computer took it upon itself to restart in the middle of a conversation with Woljif. And in the time that the computer was restarting, I was looking at, I was kind of just waiting for, my computer to start back up. And I was kind of thinking about, well, why am I even doing this? Because I'm broadcasting to literally nobody. Because while I'm live, there's literally nobody watching. This is some very epic music for this conversation. We'll load into the game. There is literally nobody watching me right now. Why am I doing this? What is the point? I'm talking to no one. No one's going to watch this. It's highly unlikely that anyone's ever going to watch this in post. And it just doesn't feel like there's much of a point to what I'm doing. And it felt very hard to want to to start the game back up and let's do this, let's go live. Let's, stream to nobody. But I started the game up and I started to play a bit, not streaming, just going through this playthrough as normal. I did a few things that we're about to do. And it just felt weird. It felt odd. Or I felt guilty, or I don't want to say ashamed or whatever, but I felt like I really wanted to do this, and I still. Who the fuck is sending me? What the fuck, Xbox? I really want to do this, and I still want to do this, and I want to share my passion for this game, and I want to share my excitement, and I want to talk with other people about it. And when you boot up the game and you click go live, and there's absolutely no one there, it's hard to do that. But I stopped playing for a bit, and I just kind of sat here, and I was thinking. I went for a brief little walk, and then I laid in my bed for just a bit. And I thought, okay, well, let's think about other streamers, right? Other streamers, there are tons of small streamers who do this. And not specifically this game, although I'm sure there are a few who play this game as well. They keep going. Despite that no one's watching, there are so many streamers that have 0 views all the time, most of the time. And they just keep going. And eventually, maybe they don't get a ton of views, but they get some, right? Someone to talk to is what I mean. Not just whoa, bro, the new clip just got 500,000 views on the clip channel. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone in chat that engages with you. And specifically when it comes to what I'm doing here, wants to talk about Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous and really share their excitement for the game. Even if they, aren't particularly knowledgeable about it, it's just great to talk about it with other people. So, I don't know. I just felt like I had to keep going. I felt like I would be making a significant mistake if I didn't keep trying. At least for now. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe sometime in the near future, I'll be like, fuck this. And then, never stream again. And maybe someone 5 years from now will stumble upon this series of videos and be like, oh, this is vaguely entertaining. They'll get to the last one and they'll be like, damn, guy stopped streaming. I don't know. Maybe that'll happen. We'll see. So that's just kind of where I'm at mentally with my thought process on the game. So yeah. But as of right now, I have no intention of stopping. We're going to keep going with the game. I don't know if we're going to complete it, but we're going to keep going. There's another thing I want to mention. I promise I'll start playing the game soon if you're here for just the game. In which case, start skipping ahead in the video because I'm going to keep talking for a bit. I had the idea to... I mentioned in the last chapter, or in the last stream I did just a bit ago, but didn't actually get much into it. I wanted to make like presentations about each chapter and each and quests and go into them and really delve into these things and talk about them, and kind of engage with other people and see what they think about these things. And I'm not sure what form those things will take, but I think I really want to go ahead with that and with that idea, even though it's a lot of work and it's very intimidating. But I'm feeling better just having... Who the fuck has a dog in the dorm, bro? What? Why is there a dog barking? I'm looking behind me as though a dog's gonna be there, like I'm in my room. But what people bring? Well, there you go. I don't know. Dog was barking. In any event, no one's watching, so it doesn't matter too much what I say. But I'm gonna keep going. What's the most important step a man can take, Dalinar? The next one. Always the next one. Let's talk to Woljif.
Hey, Chief. Hey, Dreamboat, come over here. I want to talk to you about something. Something really important.
Hey, Dreamboat. That's just a bit odd. Bit of an odd thing to say.
Quit bothering the decent people in here, Woljif, or I'll knock your teeth out.
I think we got a bit through this conversation before we stopped.
You were told to guard me, and I'm not stopping you. But no one told me I had to shut my trap.
I don't remember how far in this conversation we got, so we're just gonna keep going through it. Who are you?
Woljif Jeffdo. I deal in useful things. I can get you whatever you want. Anything. But there's just one problem.
I think we stopped just about here. What do you want from me?
I'll lay it out for you. Simple job, 30 minutes tops. We go someplace, talk to someone, and in return, whatever you want, I'll get it for you. Some extra rations? No problem. Armor, weapons, scrolls, you name it. It's as good as yours. If you need my help with something, whistle and I'll be there. I'm handy enough with knives too, and even my magic know-how isn't too shabby.
Not too shabby.
What a load of guff. If you were good at magic, you wouldn't be stuck in here now, would you?
Don't you listen to him, Chief. He'd find fault with the Queen herself. I'll be useful to have in battle, and I'll sell whatever you want at a reasonable price. It's your lucky day. You won't meet another gem like me in Canabras.
He makes some good points. I can't help you while you're chained up. How can I free you?
That's easy. You know Irabeth? Feisty-looking gal, always wears armor. You can't miss her. She's the meanest fighter in the whole city. When you see her, put in a good word for me, will ya? Tell her there's this guy Woljif locked up for no good reason in the Defender's Heart. Well, for the follies of his youth. And he really wants to get out on bail so he can keep up his good behavior and make a contribution to society. You got that? Will you do it?
All right, I'll talk to Irabeth about your situation.
I knew I could count on you. Knew it the moment I laid eyes on you.
Why are you in chains?
Does it really matter? Don't get hung up on the past, Chief. Don't look to the future. Live in the here and now.
Wise words.
He was caught thieving.
Delvin, you're such a pessimist. Your shadow, what was that?
Get me out of here and I'll tell you. And don't worry, it's not contagious.
The tiefling grins and laughs. We'll talk about this later. There's like some kind of puzzle down here with these fucking levers that I never figured out, and I'm just not gonna look it up because I don't care. You probably don't even get anything good for it. Let's talk to Foreign Autumn Haze quickly, because he gives us a neat little side quest. A tall, fragile-looking elf sits in front of you, eyes closed. He is pale as a ghost, his arm wrapped in a blood-stained bandage. What? Hold on. Sorry, something on my other monitor just keeps flashing, and it's very annoying. Keeps flashing up and bothering me. Big yawn. Sorry. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. You spot other bandages on his body under his clothes, but even in such a miserable state, he manages to keep calm. Raising his eyes to meet yours, he says faintly, "I am Foreign Autumn Haze, at your service." His pale lips are reddened by blood, but you see no sign of pain or fear in his gray eyes. Do you need help? After giving you a cold, intense look, he shakes his head. Do not trouble yourself on my behalf. A local healer tended to me. Besides, I come from a resilient, hardy people. My body will endure both the wounds and the poison delivered through them. Who are you? My name is Foreign Autumn Haze. I've come here from Kyonan because I am a hunter, and all minions of evil are my quarry. Quarry. I won't say more than that if you don't mind. We are strangers, and of different races and cultures. I'd rather not tell you more than is necessary. Who wounded you? A sinner and accomplice to demons. The quarry I am hunting in this inhospitable place. I'm Anric. You can trust me. I might be able to help you. That's some trustworthy shit to say right there. After a brief pause, Foreign says, it would be impolite to refuse such a direct and friendly offer. Who is your quarry here in Mendev? I was hunting a fugitive, is that what you call it? Cultist of Discarite? Descarite? Okay. Discarite by the name of Kaylessa. It pains me to admit that there are heinous malefactors such as her among my noble kind. What, elves? I managed to catch up to her in Canabris, and I wounded her. Then demons appeared, and the city was engulfed in flames. I was injured in the battle that ensued and could not free her soul from its service to her dark masters. He expresses no anger or hatred as he speaks, only compassionate sorrow. I'm sorry for your misfortune. I hope things will turn out differently next time. He purses his lips. There is no need for pity. Our ancient kind is blessed with great longevity. We gain a deeper understanding of the world than other races, and we learn our lessons better than anyone. That goes for learning from our mistakes as well. I survived, which means I will be more prepared when we next meet. Yeah, sure, I wish to aid you in your hunt. Foreign covers his eyes warily. I thank you, but this is my mission, and I'm used to facing all manner of terrors on my own. I do appreciate your willingness to help. If you happen to meet Kaylessa, take caution. She has turned many innocent souls to the path of evil, and darkness has rewarded her with many gifts. Her appearance alone will tell you that it is warped. The agate? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm American. The agate skin, the malicious stare of her blood-red eyes, the bestial teeth. She's more monster than elf at this point. What does this Kaylessa look like? We have to roll pretty fucking well to make this check. Yeah, we didn't make it. Her skin is dark, her hair preternaturally white. Her red eyes can see perfectly in the dark, which, to my dismay, I've come to know from experience. But bright light causes her kind pain. I use an alchemical powder that explodes in a dazzling flash, and she cried out as if I had stabbed her. It's clear that this woman is a faithful servant of darkness. The marks that Kaylessa's masters have left on her appearance say so as much. Okay. Sure. Yeah, why not? Just judging people based on, like, that seems a bit, you know, presumptuous, but whatever. Sorry, tabbing out to fix something. I'd like to know more about you. I won't hold anything back, not who I am, why I made my way here, or who it is that I'm pursuing. Tell me about yourself. Other people tend to believe that identity is the sum of a person's activities or actions. Fuck, dude, I gotta learn to read. Some of a person's actions and the events that happen to them. For them, I am one of a long line of warriors from Kyonan who, since his youth, has dedicated himself to hunting evil and injustice. For them, I am a successful and capable huntsman who has tracked down and slain a great many monsters. But I am an elf, and for me, my identity has a different meaning. It is shaped by the place I was born, and that I love so deeply. Tabbing out to fix another thing, I'm very sorry. I am shaped by what I find beautiful and what makes my heart quicken, by my fears that come to me in the dead of night, by the things I find so intolerable that at the sight of them, my very core darkens and fills with poison. Thus, to tell you who I am, I would require many days and much candor, which is more than you or I have at our disposal. It's a great way of saying I'm not telling you shit about myself, because I don't want to. You could just say, like, no. Tell me about yourself. No. That'd be much easier and save us all a lot of time. Okay, well, let's talk to Irbeth about releasing Woljif. Irbeth rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success? How is the city? There's a tiefling chained up in the defender's heart. What can you tell me about him? Irbeth shrugs scornfully. Woljif is a petty thief from a gang of tieflings. Thieflings. Operating in Canabras. That's what we call them in these parts. They tried to rob a vendor of magical items recently. Unfortunately, we apprehended only one of them. The rest managed to escape. Excuse me. We have nowhere else to keep him apart from the defender's heart, but that's hardly a prison. Woljif knows it too. He's been begging us for days to let him go or have someone vouch for him. He's already asked you to put in a good word for him, hasn't he? Irbeth squints at you thoughtfully, then shrugs. If you want to recruit Woljif and put him to good use, go ahead and take him off our guard's hands. We can ill afford to let a soldier spend their days watching over a middling thief. I hope the tiefling proves useful, should you decide to take him along. So do I. I have to go. I don't really care about anything else you have to say at the moment, Irbeth. So let's go down there and recruit Woljif. So the reason I'm doing this first... Who's screaming? The reason I'm doing this first is because it's always useful to have another person in the party. And Woljif will be another companion. I'm receiving more alerts. Bruh. Moment. Okay. Alright. The city's a dangerous place, man.
Well, Chief, what do you got for me?
I talked to Irbeth, and I've decided to make you part of my troop. We'll see how it goes.
You must be a smooth talker. Come on, Delvin. Get these bracelets of yours off me. I'm going free.
You're sure to regret this. This tiefling will fleece you for everything you've got. Mark my words.
You're a bitter little man, Delvin. Petty and mean. You can't even be happy for me, can you? I pity you. I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul. So long.
I'll leave you alone with your sad little soul.
And now, Chief, straight down to business. You see, I'm one of those guys that people around here call thieflings. We just call ourselves the family. After we knocked over that shop and I got stuck here in the Defender's Heart, a little bird told me that big sister Karisme wanted to see me. That she had some questions to ask me. You following? Now, she won't be asking me questions like, Woljif, how'd you manage to get out of this one? Or, Woljif, you're so thin, didn't they feed you? No, something serious has gone down, and I just know they want to try to pin something on me. I can feel it in my tail. So, I knew right away that I couldn't go alone. You turned up just in time, Chief. You don't need to do anything when we get there. Just stand behind me and look mean, and I'll handle the rest. Somehow. Let's go, I'll show you the way.
Alright. I forgot to read that gray text, but you know what? You have eyes. Hopefully. Well, hopefully they work, I should say. If they don't, then my apologies. I'm probably not the best streamer. What? Okay, good. I don't know what... I'm sorry. I was getting like a notification that the live stream was not live, and I was very confused. I was very concerned, I should say. Okay. Here we are. Back at it again at the Krispy Kreme. Let's talk to Woljif. Hey, Chief, want to talk? I want to know more about you. Oh, fucking. Woljif is one of those companions I don't actually know that much about, so I do actually want to talk to him. Are your family tieflings too? Oh, fucking. I gotta read all this shit. Okay, my family, it's an interesting story actually, but I don't tell it to just anyone. My father and mother had a bakery. Their life was great, but the gods never blessed them with any children. One day, my mother went to the river to wash some clothes and saw a basket floating downstream. Inside the basket was a baby, adorable and chubby and fast asleep. It was yours truly. In my hand was a note spritzed with expensive perfume that said, "Take care of my little angel." My mother brought me home, and she and my father realized right away that I was having sin. They raised me as their own. When I turned 15, my mother even showed me my baby blanket. It was embroidered with the coat of arms of an unknown kingdom, all in gold thread. Ever since then, I've been looking for my real parents, but it's not easy. Traveling takes money. So if you have a few gold coins, I'll pay you back as soon as I find my real family. I give you my word. That doesn't sound very believable. Seriously? Usually everyone just believes everything I say. People love stories like that. You know, a cute baby, a basket, a blanket. What's not to love? They look at me differently, as if I'm worth more than just some sheets I spit up on. Just because the sheets I spit up on might have had a fancy coat of arms on them. Woljif laughs bitterly. If I was really a prince, I wouldn't be sitting around here, I can tell you that much. I'd have already gone to take what was rightfully mine. And then I'd come back with an army so I could watch the guards and merchants who pushed me around all my life bow and scrape before me. But that's not going to happen. Want to hear the real story? The true story is boring. My family is human. Both my father and my mother. They used to live in a nearby village, or a village nearby, I forgot the name. When my ma had me, my old man got so mad he almost killed her. Pinned her to a wall and started asking questions, like why his son had horns and a tail. Well, my ma told him that her grandmother, my grandma, used to fool around with a demon. When he heard this, Daddy Dearest got drunk, trashed the house, and then took off. I don't remember any of this, of course my grandma told me. I was about 3 years old when my mother brought me to Canabras and left me with my grandma. She said to her, "You and your demon have ruined my life, now you handle him." Okay, what a great mom. Then she left. I haven't seen her or my dad since. She did leave a blanket, though that part was true, but my grandma burned it because it was infested with lice. It wasn't even good enough to use as a rag. You think after all that, my grandmother saw the light, felt rightfully ashamed, and kissed my horns? I wish. Woljif grins nastily, his yellow eyes flashing. People used to give her trouble for fooling around with a demon. She wasn't welcome anywhere, so she got angry. Normal kids get bedtime stories, see, but the only tales I got were how my dad was worthless, my mom was a slut, and the demon spawn, and I was demon spawn that no one cared about. She only kept me so I could help around the house and steal things she needed. So that's the truth. Ooh. That's a bit depressing. How did you become a thiefling? Woljif grins happily. My man is capable of a very quick emotion change. Woljif grins happily. I already was a tiefling, and life made me a thief. I already was a tiefling, and my life made me a thief. I've been in the business since I was a kid. My grandma used to say, if you don't work, you don't eat. And she gave me as an apprentice to Yeager, a tiefling neighbor of ours. He was a cunning old geezer. He knew how to take a purse off somebody's belt, how to cut open bags undetected, and even do some magic. I used to climb through basement windows. Yeager? Egir. Egger. Fuck. I used to climb through basement windows and open doors from the inside while I was still small enough. And when I grew and stopped fitting through the windows, I decided I was done with my education. I repaid my grandma for everything she'd done for me, which was absolutely nothing. Why would I feed her if she wasn't bringing me any money? If you don't work, you don't eat. So I took off. I got bored of my teacher too, and when I as much hinted at leaving, he said I owed him for my education. So I just nodded, and then I joined the Owl Bears, the gang that ran our district, and told them that Eager was working their territory. I don't know what happened to him, but I stayed with the Owl Bears. You fucking cheating, like, traitorous dick. Then the leader started giving me the cold shoulder. I did steal from him, but never that much. So I had to rat them out to the guards. Then I joined the Golden Hands, which was a good time, rich pickings. I would have stayed with the Golden Hands, but the Northmen promised me a bigger cut if I told them where the Golden Hands kept their loot. I'm no fool, of course, so I told them. After that, I only had one option, to join the Northmen, and then the family came. At first, no one took them seriously, calling them tieflings, and all that, but I felt it right away. They had power behind them, and they had more money. I'm always on the winner's side, chief, and that's why I joined the tieflings. And right on time, some thugs came from the capital and made the Northmen leave. The ones who survived are in the family now, too. Tell me about the tieflings. Okay, so he joined the tieflings through a great series of betrayals. Very cool. Tell me about the tieflings. All right. I won't tell you everything mine, but I can tell you a little. Tieflings are Mendevian thieves. The gang was started in Mendev's capital by someone or other, and soon after they'd spread all over Galarian. They're also called the family. Oh, they're like everywhere? Shit, dude, I thought they were just around the province. They're also called the family. You know why? Because us tieflings are easy to spot. Wherever we go, guards always hassle us, asking, "Are you lost?" or "Summit? Summit? Are you lost?" or "Summit, Hornhead?" We usually say we're visiting family. And if they say, "Oh yeah, who?" you give them the name of a local tiefling who confirms everything, even if he's never seen you before in his life. That's why we're all brothers and sisters. That's actually pretty neat. I didn't know that. How do I play this game 3 times and I don't know this shit? There are rules. Who does what? Who gets cut? Who gets what cut? I won't say it's a lot, but they make it worth your while. They'll even heal you if you take an arrow. But the biggest no-no is this: you don't steal from the family. If you don't contribute to the shared pot, you get the cold shoulder. You won't be treated like family no more. And then everyone will hear that you went to visit some relatives who had a farm someplace. My best guess, the farm is in some underground well beneath Canabras where they breed grave worms. If Sister Charisme, our boss, looked the other way more often, I'd really be able to spread my wings. Nobody should live under constant punishment. You can and take her place. Stealing from someone you call a sister, that's low. Well, I mean, he kind of does this a lot. Seems like, he's had a rough childhood. We're gonna remain neutral. And kind of like not be judgmental of Woljif, because, the man is the way he is. I want to ask about something else. What do you think of Canabras? Holy fuck, dude. This guy has so much to say about everything. It used to be such a hole. Then the Crusaders and refugees came here, and things started looking up. Although it depends on who you ask, I suppose. Which is better steer clear of here, because Iomede's followers are ferocious, especially Horan Shapik, the local inquisitor. He's a tough old goat. I didn't see it myself, but a serving girl at the tavern told me that her second cousin's son from his third wife is a paladin. And she said he said that Holren takes an unsheathed sword with him, even to the privy, and when he sleeps, he puts it on the pillow next to him, and when he's in his cups, he strokes the blade and whispers sweetly to it, "You are my one true friend. You are the only one I can rely on." From what we've experienced with Holren, I don't really doubt that too much. Irabet's given us a hard time too. You as much look at some nice little bauble, and before you can think of it, before your fingers even twitch, she's coming for you, with her nostrils flaring and her fangs glinting. A scary woman. But even she's better than Sister Charisme, our boss here in Canabras. By our, I mean the Thiefling's boss. If you get caught by Erebeth, it's all out in the open. You go to prison or you end up as worm food. But if you step on Sister Charisme's toes, poof, you're gone. Just like that. No one ever sees you again. All you'll hear is, he went to the family farm, even though he's never had a family or a farm. Your magic looks strange. What kind of magic is that? It is certainly strange, isn't it? Ladies and gentlemen, roll up, roll up. No dark magic, no fraud. A trick without any deception. Woljif snaps his fingers, and blue flame engulfs him. The shadow that was previously lying calmly at his feet grows, floating in the air behind him. It is the shadow of a huge horned winged demon with claws. Ta-da! It doesn't do anything, it just looks scary. I remember when I was little, an old beggar showed me and my friends how to do shadow puppets. You put your fingers together in front of a light, and it makes the shadow of a deer or dog or a dove on the wall. I tried so hard. I wanted to make the best shadow. And I did. It just happened. Woljif chuckles sadly. Funnily enough, that's the last time I had any real friends. They tried to stone me later, screaming at me, calling me a demon. Well, there you go. A tiefling is always a demon to these wimps. Even the lowest ranking drunken gnome thinks he's better than me, just because he hasn't got horns or a tail. The poorest beggar in the filthiest gutter thinks he's better than me. Most people would never show their shadow again after the first time, but I don't care. If stones start flying again, I'll just run. I'm used to it by now. Looks formidable. I like it. I do like it. It's pretty cool. Woljif chuckles, pleased. What about the blue fire? That's my favorite part. It doesn't burn at all. If I had a coin for every time I've caught a beating for showing for my little show here, I'd already have proposed to Galfrey. Be proposed to Galfrey, the queen, if you forgot. But still, I don't want to give up something so beautiful. You have demon blood in you. Do you feel drawn to the abyss? That's a hell of a fucking forward thing to ask, but sure. Woljif's tail whips back and forth nervously, raising clouds of dust. Why, are you an inquisitor or something? What's it to you? If I've wronged you somehow, just come out and say it. Don't ask me trick questions. I know how it happens. I used to know a fella, he was married to the sister of the guard. Some shady types got him drunk one night and started asking him suspicious questions about the gods, about the queen. So he wakes up hungover with a headache, someone's mumbling something, it smells like smoke, and his feet are kind of hot. He looks down and there's a fire under him, and the prelate is reading out his sentence. So, there's actually some interesting tiefling-only dialogue there. If you are a tiefling, if you're playing a tiefling, Woljif will say, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, I feel drawn to the abyss. But, you know, we are not a tiefling, so he doesn't really feel comfortable opening up to us like that. And this, excuse me, rub my ear here. And this is one of the few Dhampir NPCs in the whole game. Not many Dhampirs, which is a shame because I really like Dhampirs. They're one of my favorite races. This is Gimmelhawks. A strange figure towers over the bar, a huge, ungainly man with skin so milky white that his blue veins are visible even from a distance. His bald head is equal parts lumpy and pitted, and blood-filled eyes stare impassively out at you from beneath his pale brows. The glass in the albino's large, clumsy hands looks dangerously delicate, as if one twitch of those calloused fingers would be enough to crush it. A gold medallion engraved with a tankard gleams around his neck. What'll it be? The medallion you're wearing. That's a sacred symbol, isn't it? Are you a cleric of Caden Kalian? I'm a tavern keeper, best in the city, the best there's ever been. And I pray to the best god there is. I mean, like, second best, you know. I'm a fan of Caden Kalian. My first character was a Caden Kalian worshiper. But now that I've seen the light of Desna, I must say Desna guides me. Also, fun fact, if you are playing a Dhampir, you have a unique bit of dialogue with this guy. You can ask Like, you can ask him, like, got any of the good stuff? And he gives you a jar of, like, or he gives you a potion of, like, inflict moderate wounds or something like that, which, if you're playing a Dampier, they use inflict wounds instead of cure wounds to heal. And he says, fresh batch of maiden blood here just for you. Special stuff on the house. And, you know, that's pretty funny. I don't think it's actually maiden's blood. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe this guy drinks maiden's blood. I doubt it. But, you know, maybe he does. He indulges from time to time. You know, don't we all have our vices? How did you end up in the... Or fucking... Who are you? What the fuck? The albino slowly takes your measure with his red eyes. And finally, with a gentle sigh, says, Jimmo Hawks. Vampire. Are you really a vampire? Jimmo gives you a long look of reproach, then grudgingly answers, no. That's right, because he's a Dampier, not a real vampire. It's like half vampire. How did you end up in the Crusader city? How did anyone end up here? How did you, or them? With a huge hand, the tavern keeper gestures at the ragtag group assembled in the room. The world is big, but still, there isn't a place for everyone. People who no longer have a life anywhere else, they end up here. Any news in the city? The albino looks around. There are demons everywhere. And you showed up. I like this guy, to the point. Are there any places in the city worth visiting? If you mean places that normal people usually stay well away from, then there are plenty. Like the Pataxian wine cellar. Jimmo pauses for effect. Like the name of that place alone should make you quiver in fear. It once belonged to a Pataxian trading house. Then King Iravetti came to power in Pitax. Pitax? God, that is a fucking unfortunate name to pronounce. And property started changing hands. Soon after, the seller's shop assistant was found in a ditch. Not all of them, mind, just his head. The Marian gangsters have taken possession of the place. They wanted to sell something stronger than wine on the street. And they ended up on the gallows. Then King Iravetti's number was up. So now that store stands empty and unclaimed. People say that a headless ghost wanders the place at night, moaning ghoulishly. Ooh. After coming to the end of his story, unusually long by his standards, the tavern keeper takes a swig from his tankard. Just don't ask me how he makes any noise with no head. I wasn't there. I just tell it like I heard it. Well, in any event, Jim will show me what you have. And here you can buy like potions or whatever. He also sells some pretty good, pretty unique equipment here. Dark Omen. This is a pretty interesting looking ring that I don't really want that much. Whenever the wearer of these gloves casts a cantrip or first level spell, the spell deals 1 additional point of damage per die rolled. I might take that. I might buy that. I guess I'll buy that because it's a recipe. Oh, small bag of holding. I'll take that. Sure. Yeah, that's beautiful. Bags of holding are great. They expand your carrying capacity by a lot. So if you have like a low strength party, or your main character has a low amount of strength, definitely invest in some bags of holding. They will make this game so much more convenient, easier to move through. Oh, that's what they are. Righteous Exorcist Bracers. We got that from our chest. Gives a +1 to damage roll versus demons. We'll give that to Sela, I guess. Let's see. We've got a lot to do here in Defender's Heart. Let's level up our characters. Just kind of mix it up. Excuse me, I'm really fucking... Dude, I drank all that, like, Mexican soda. And it's, like, really messing with me here. Yeah, we're gonna keep going with Persuasion, Perception, Lore, Religion, World. I could increase Lore Nature, but Lore Nature is going to be covered by Winduog. I guess, maybe I'll take 1 point from Religion and put it into Lore Nature just to get that +3 that you get for putting 1 point into it. We'll have another character at some point who has really good Lore Nature. We're also going to have characters that are really good at Knowledge Arcana, so I'm not too concerned about increasing that. Although I guess I could increase it just a bit. just for now, it's not too big a deal that, we're not mainlining some specific skills. So at this level, what I was thinking of, we also get our first rage power. That's very cool. So what I'm thinking of doing is I'm thinking of taking power attack. We're going to want a lot of feats for this build. This is a very feat-hungry kind of build. We're going to want power attack so that our damage can actually kind of not completely fucking suck throughout the whole game. It's either power attack, extra performance, lingering performance, which is probably what I should do. Lingering performance or combat reflexes, because attacks of opportunity are very powerful. But there's another thing we'll get a bit later in the game that will give us more attacks of opportunity that we will certainly be getting on this character. So I'm not too concerned about getting combat reflexes right now. Right now what we want is lethal stance. This is going to give all of our allies affected by the rage a +1 competence bonus on melee attack rolls and thrown weapon attack rolls, which is really useful. Yeah, I believe that's what we're going to want. And we get another spell at this level. This doesn't matter too much. It's just another first level spell. When do we get second level spells? Level 4. Oh, that's exciting. Let's see. What do we want? I guess, I don't know. Remove fear. That could be useful. Just so we always have that prepared. Let's level up Windwog. We're going to keep her as a fighter. And she's going to stay throwing axes is her thing. Probably going to want deadly aim, I figure. Rapid shot is what we're going to need for snapshot, right? Yeah. You can fire 1 additional highest bonus. We'll go with deadly aim. So that will increase her damage with her throwing axes, which is very cool. Then we're going to level up Camellia, the lady. Keep her focused on... She's going to be our trickery woman. Our trickery babe for this playthrough. I'm tempted to go with weapon focus rapier so that she gets a bonus to hit with her rapier. But there are other things for her that we're going to want as well. Let's see, like Piranha Strike, we're probably going to want that eventually so that we can deal more damage, but that's not entirely necessary at the moment. Shake It Off is a useful teamwork feat. We'll go with weapon focus rapier because the most important thing is actually hitting. And of course she gets a bunch of beautiful, beautiful spells at this level as well. And Sela has also leveled up. And we're just going to increase her mobility, her knowledge world, and her persuasion. Because it's good to have someone persuasive, I guess, even though we're persuasive. We may take her down the line of feats that anytime you hit with your power attack, you make an intimidation check. But whatever. Probably going to want Sickened. Yeah, we're taking weapon focus longsword because actually hitting your enemy is very, very, very important. We'll get power attack next time a feat comes around. Yeah, that's the idea. And we've leveled up everyone there is to level up for now. Okay, cool. F5, because I'm addicted to my F5 key. I love that baby. So it's one of our quests to speak to Staunton Vane about... I don't even remember, but we need to speak to him about something, that's for sure. Don't show completed quests. Friend in need is friend indeed. We've got a bunch of quests to work on this chapter. Be prepared. That's a hell of an objective. Gather allies, find the storyteller. Oh, I think, yeah, talk to Staunton about the storyteller who inspected the Wardstone said he found something wrong with it. The dwarf resembles an abandoned citadel, one whose high, crumbling walls are still holding fast, but whose empty, lightless windows make it clear that all inside is dead. Oh, it's you. Good work back there in the Grey Garrison. Name's Staunton Vane, if you've heard the rumors about me. His face, which looks like it has never known anything as carefree as a smile, grimaces. Just so you know, everything people say about me, it's true. Okay, bro, whatever. I need to talk to an elf who calls himself the Storyteller. Do you know where I can find him? Storyteller? Staunton strokes his beard in thought. Strange old fellow, that one. He used to sit with me for hours asking about all sorts of things. He never offered judgment or comfort, he just listened. At first I wanted him and his questions as far away from me as possible, but later I realized talking to him did ease my burden a little. I hope he's alive and well. He's completely blind and feeble too. So if he's alone in that city, well, you probably know what that means. I do know one place he might be. Look for him in the Blackwing. It's a library. Here, I'll show you where it is on your map. I don't know what use a library is to a blind elf, but he loved the place. He would sit there day and night. What do people say about you? That I'm a traitor, as bad as a Relu Vorlesh. That I'm a disgrace, even among the ranks of the condemned. That Queen Galfrey should never have spared me. That I belong on the gallows. Why do they hate you so much? You really don't know? Staunton gives you a long, morose look, then sighs. I'm the reason why the Crusade forces are holed up in fortresses on the edge of the world moon instead of bringing the fight to the demons. We used to have a foothold in the Wound, the mighty, unassailable city of Dresden. We used to have it until it fell, and all because of my stupidity. I gave the enemy our main citadel. I was tried. They wanted to execute me, and rightly so, but the Queen intervened. She said that I should live and fight in order to undo the things I had done. So that's how I live, decade after decade, fighting in the condemned. The dwarf shrugs. As you can see, I have fixed nothing, and I have earned no one's forgiveness. Are you going to spit in my face too? It won't surprise me. I hope you earned forgiveness. You were given the chance to live, so live, and stop blaming others for what you've made of your life. Do you think you're the first to come to me with sermons? The dwarf shrugs indifferently. A whole city fell because of you? How is that possible? What do you mean, how? The knight glares at you from beneath his furrowed brows. If you don't trust the word of the condemned, go ask somebody else. Like my little brother Joran. And if you don't believe it, what's it to me? But if you're about to ask me to recount the story of my disgrace for the 1000th time, don't. The Condemned is a military unit made up of petty criminals conscripted as disposable soldiers and frontline fodder for the Mendevian Crusades. So many years in the Condemned. Surely you've paid your penance by now. That's not up to me to decide. My life is in the Queen's hands. He falls silent for a moment, and then, in a trembling voice, he adds, the Condemned isn't the worst part. All these years I have prayed to Torag for forgiveness. Countless times I've gone to his priests. Countless times I've kneeled before his altar. If only the father of Dwarvenkind would answer my prayers just once, not to restore what I've lost, but just to tell me that I am still one of his children. But it seems he doesn't give a damn about me. What can I expect from mere mortals when my own God doesn't think I deserve redemption? You really don't have any friends? I couldn't have survived this long if I were completely alone. Joran, my little brother, he keeps me going. He's never abandoned me. Everyone else shies away from me like they might catch what I've got. Even fighters in the Condemned console themselves by thinking I got stripped of my rank, but at least I'm not Staunton. Commander Tirabade seems the only person in the whole army who remembers that I'm a soldier and not a drudge. She has no qualms about taking me into battle. She's had some mud flung at her in the past, or so I hear. That's why she tries to keep an open mind about people. It's no surprise that she's the only one to hold on to her sense of reason in this farce. I have to go. Go on then. Maybe we'll see each other again. We definitely will. Spoiler alert. So there's definitely more people to talk to in here, and we will talk to them all in a moment. Right now we're going to go out here into the exterior of the fucking Survivor's Heart, or whatever this place is called, and speak to his brother, Joran Vane. I don't think there's anyone else of note out here, just Joran. A grizzled dwarf turns a blade in his calloused hands, carefully inspecting the edge. When he sees you approaching, he sets the blade aside and greets you with a nod. A new face in the city. You picked a good time to come to Canopus. As you can see, we're in sore need of warriors. Show radiance to Joran. Do you recognize the sword? Do I recognize it? Of course I do. I made this with my own hand. There's my brand. See? The dwarf carefully takes the sword in his hands, gazing at it like a doting father. Oh, Yanio, things have been tough without you, but at least we've got your sword. That's something. Joran returns the sword to you. In battle, ordinary swords get blunted, they break, but sometimes a weapon can be persevere. I don't even know how to explain it. I'm no authority on these things, but something like an echo of the deeds done with that weapon. Or more like the reflection of the wielder's soul. I don't know. I will say one thing. Take care of that sword. Yaniel may no longer be with us, but the demons will still remember why they need to turn tail and run when they see radiance. Ugh, that scabbard's all worn. We can't have a fine sword like that being carried around in this tatty thing. I'll make you a new one if you like. If the city stands strong and we both survive, come see me again and I'll have it ready. No charge. Show me your wares. We'll talk to him more in just a moment. But I want to see what he has for sale. Mostly I'm interested in his unique items here. I don't even know where the Falcata is, like in real life. Some of these things are pretty neat, I guess. I don't know. If you're using a great club, there's a great club. This attrition dagger is pretty cool. If you plan on keeping Woljif in your party for a long time, you're definitely going to want to buy that for now, as that's very useful. But I definitely can't afford that, as you can see. It's like 7,700. Do you know everyone in Canopus by sight? Well, not everyone, but I make it my business to know the people who might need my services. A blacksmith's work isn't just at the anvil, you know. Are you Staunton Vane's brother? Yep, everywhere he goes, I go. That's how we've always done it, even before the World Wound. I forge the armor, he goes into battle and breaks it, he comes back to me and I repair it and make it better than before. Everything's changed since then, of course, but that part has stayed the same. How was Staunton to blame for the fall of Dresden? Okay, yeah. We already know all this. You can read all this if you want. I don't want to read all this out loud. I'm glancing over it. Basically, I'll tell you the short of it. Wherever I work, that's where my forge is, whatever. I'll tell you the short of it, basically. Dresden is a super cool, awesome fortress that was, like, awesome against the demons and based and shit. And they had this thing called the Sword or whatever of the Inheritor. I don't know. The Sword of Valor. Called the Sword of Valor. It's like this super cool banner that keeps demons from teleporting and doing bad shit in the premises of Dresden. It hung above Dresden. And Staunton was like this super cool knight, badass crusader dude who got seduced by the demon Minago, who we've met. And basically, Minago convinced him to take down the Sword of Valor, which allowed the demons to storm into Dresden and take the city. And that happened, I think that was like the Second Crusade or whatever. Basically, it fucked everything up real bad. And it fucked everything up real bad. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. And that's why people hate Staunton so much, is because he literally caused the fall of Dresden. Who is adding me at this time of day, at this time of year, localized entirely within my kitchen? You little bitch. I'll have you know I graduated top of my class in the Navy SEALs. Okay, let's talk to Camellia, because, you know, she seems like a nice, respectable young woman. Camellia looks you over pensively, toying with the snake-shaped bone amulet that dangles from her pale neck. Noticing your glance, she flashes you a cold, barely there smile. Greetings. It seems for a moment that she wants to say something else, but the pause grows too long, and she slips back into cautious silence. Tell me about yourself. You want to know more about me than you already do? Why? Camellia arches a dainty brow. I talk to the spirits of this tormented land, and they guide me in battle. I'll help you fight the demons, and I swear that you can rely on me in this manner. Isn't that sufficient? Where did you learn to wield a rapier so well? I had good teachers, although they don't get all the credit. I am a most diligent student. Camellia lips her parched lips. Get used to that. Your amulet is quite unusual. Where did you get it? Ah, my little trinket. It's so nice of you to notice. But I assure you, this amulet is nothing but a bauble. Can a lady not be drawn to beautiful, useless things? Anyway, as much as I enjoy our delightful conversations, the spirits are calling me, and I must respond. Please excuse me. Camellia turns away, watching you out of the corner of her eye. Yeah, so, like, she kind of just dismissed us, but that doesn't matter. We're just going to talk to her again, because we didn't exhaust all our dialogue. Greetings, and then the smile disappears. Your speech tells me you are of noble birth. Camellia laughs, her practiced musical laugh, as she watches you from under lowered lashes. You're most insightful. A fine quality to have. Camellia's laughter ends in unspoken words hanging in the silence. Well, forgive me if my questions disturb you. I couldn't resist such a noble and beautiful lady. I'll stop bothering you immediately if talking to me upsets you. Not at all. Our conversation is an exquisite delight. Camellia offers you a brief, friendly smile in appreciation of your manners. Oh, how beautiful, dude. The first chat I get is a bot. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Remove that. I have to go. We'll talk later. I won't keep you. The dawning smile on Camellia's face freezes and quickly dies away. So, you know, Camellia doesn't have much to say, but that's all right, you know. You don't always have to say a lot of things. You don't have to be that talkative of a person. Hey, that's completely fine, you know? Completely fine. Speaking of Camellia, we need to go into her spellbook and prepare more spells. So we're definitely going to prepare Pool of Strength because that goes in her Spirit Magic slot. But as for second level spells, what we're probably going to want is Scare is probably not that useful at this level. If anything, that's just going to be more annoying. Lesser Restoration. Will we need Lesser Restoration? I don't think so. Not right now. Protection from Alignment Communal is useful at this point. And Bark Skin is also useful. Trying to think. I think that's it. She's the only person. Oh no, Woljif can also cast spells, but he's got, oh wow, he's got like dog shit useless spells. Yeah, we just want you to have Mage Armor. He might need 2 castings of Mage Armor at this point in the game. And the Grease, because Grease is just incredible spell to have. Hotbar Management Simulator, where the fuck did I put that ability? My favorite game of 2021. Who are these people? I actually don't know who these people are. I don't know how long have I been streaming? An hour, okay? We're probably gonna spend another fucking 30 minutes talking to all these people. This playthrough is gonna take a long time. Alright. Visali Rathamus. Rathamus seems like a familiar name, actually. Is he related to someone in a different game? A stout old man with a fuzzy gray beard mumbles a prayer. He looks as tired as everyone else in the tavern, but determination is stamped on his haggard face. What can I do for you? Show me the scrolls you're selling. Not right now. Who are you? Vasily Rathamus, rector of the local temple of Abadar. The temple is gone, though, and if we snooze here much longer, the city will be lost as well. Who's that boy with you? This one? Kyoto the shepherd, my apprentice. He's a smart boy and his faith is strong. He served Eris still, though, but there's still something he can learn from an old servant of Abadar. He'll be a great cleric when he gets a little older. I wish I could read who Abadar is. Aristil is like old Deadeye, the stag god. My last character worshipped Aristil. Aristil is like, you know, basically god of the hunt. And like, you know, he's like a pretty cool guy. What kind of help can I expect from you? First, I sell scrolls. I have a lot of them. Something for every emergency. Second, while you're here in the tavern, I can read one to you. Guaranteed, no surprises. But you better not go into the city without a cleric. I won't be going there myself. I'm too old. My powers are needed here. Let's look at what scrolls he's selling. And would you believe it? It's a lot of them. He also sells some pretty nice... excuse me. He also sells some pretty nice stuff here. You're probably going to want Icy Protector and put that on Camellia relatively soon when we can afford it. There's a lot of things you're going to want to buy here that if you don't buy them now, you are going to lose the chance to buy them later if you don't buy them here in Act 1. Because not all of these merchants will be available later. I believe that help is already on the way. The queen will not leave us to die. Dude, you speak like me. Alright. Whoo. I give my mouth a break, dude. All this reading. Alright, let's speak to Windwog. Because Windwog is awesome. This conversation is something I'm actually very interested in. Because I always forget a lot about her. Windwog's tense stance reveals her constant vigilance. Her eyes are focused and resolute. Noticing you, she lets you speak first. Bowing respectfully. Master, I am at your service. Let's see. What do I want to say? I want to know more about you. Fucking, we got a lot of shit to say here. The underground warrior looks flattered, raising her chin proudly. You can ask me anything, master. What do you think of life on the surface, even though she's only been here for like fucking 30 minutes? Or no, I guess it's been longer because we were like out for a day unconscious or whatever, and they set up here in Defender's Heart. What do you think of life on the surface? Windowhawk scoffs arrogantly. Life among the uplanders, you mean? Your customs are strange. The huntress casts a glance at you and corrects herself quickly. I mean theirs, not yours, master. You are strong and clever, but I look at other uplanders and wonder. Have you seen how proud they are of their weakness? Look, my hands are so soft, I've never done anything with them in my entire life because noble blood runs through my veins. What does it matter who someone's parents are? I'm the daughter of a formidable chief of the tribe. So what? Is this what they respect and fear me for? Sol became the chief because he was old, experienced, and smart. After him, I might become the chief because I'm strong and even smarter. But these weaklings wouldn't have lasted a day in our caves. Windowog's eyes narrow wearily. Everything is strange here. But it's alright, master. We'll put things right, won't we? Yeah, Windowog, we're gonna establish a dictatorship with me at the helm. That's the plan. Tell me about your life in the caves. Because I'm the smartest. Life was better than an uplander might think. You're surrounded by rock on all sides. It's sturdy, dependable. When you hide in a crack, you know for sure you're safe. Not like here. All this empty space around you. You always have to be on guard in case an arrow flies from any direction and hits you. Life underground is calmer somehow. Sure, there is less food in the caves than here. But the amount of food the uplanders have, it's too much. Don't you see, master, how many fat uplanders there are? Why do they eat so much? Like cattle fattened up for tastier meat. We only had one fat person in our tribe, and that was Sol. And he was only fat because he was old. But up here, everything just seems fairer in the caves. When there isn't enough food for the weak, they die. The lazy die. The sick in the head and the body die. Only the strong and skilled survive, and the blood becomes thicker, tougher. She's got a very, like, survival of the fittest attitude. Frankly, if the sick in the head died, you'd be dead as shit. But, you know, she fucking was super powerful or whatever. What happened between you and Lan? Windowog shrugs disdainfully. He is a good hunter, but not too clever. A bit of an idiot, really. Excuse me. He was the strongest in the tribe after me. That's why I kept him close. His heart is soft, unlike his body. The huntress smiles shamelessly. But then I met you when I didn't need Lan anymore. Now I only want to hunt with you. I can tell you're proud of your strength. Windowog throws her shoulders back proudly. Of course, let everyone see who is standing before them. The weak must obey the strong if they don't want to be reminded of their place. Even when I was a snot-nosed little cave rat, I could bring neithers twice my age to heal, because I fear nothing and no one, pain least of all. I was showered with praise and compliments. The best hunter of the other tribes wanted me. But what did that matter to me? The moment you start listening to flatteries, the moment you get soft and you die. No, I always push myself further, challenging myself, taking myself to the very edge. Many times I almost died, but I always came back stronger. I earned all my strength on my own, and if anyone didn't respect that, I just grabbed my knife. That's why I became the best hunter in the tribe. Okay. On the surface, your people are called mongrels, but I take it you don't like that term? The huntress shrugs her shoulders. Let the uplanders call us whatever they want. It doesn't matter. I know what they're trying to do. By giving us that stupid nickname, they are asserting their status and superiority over us. But it's normal to try and dominate a stranger you just met. That's expected. When my kin conquer the lands on the surface, people will call us by whatever name we choose. Okay. When my kin conquer the lands on the surface, people will call us whatever name we choose. You get what you freaking deserve. Might makes right. Smartest might makes right believer right here. Why do you serve me? Windowog gives you a bland smile. Because you are winning, and I want to be with the winner. I don't like sharing food and fire with weaklings. I prefer people like you. And also, because being close to you is a good way to live. I love life. I'm young and strong. It makes sense to eat, drink, screw, and kill enemies while you are young, not when you are 30,000 gongs old and shriveled up like Soul. As long as I'm your servant, I can have fun as I like and order around anyone I want. Who would dare defy me? No one. Her eyes drift half closed in smug satisfaction. Well, I can guarantee you fun and entertainment. Windowog shoots you a feral grin. It's good we understand each other, master. As we neither say, we hunt in the same cave. Everything is clear to me now. Bold statement. Windowog lowers her head, bowing much lower than is customary. Your interest gratifies me, master. Please stop groveling. Windowog shakes her head. I'm not groveling. I'm showing respect for your power. This is exactly how the weak should behave in the presence of the strong. Windowog, I'm gonna keep it real, bro. At this level, you could probably trounce me. She could probably beat the shit out of me at this level. If she gets like a ranged fucking start. Let's talk about you serving Hasilla. Uncertainty sparks in Windowog's eyes, and she curls her spider legs on her back closer to her body. Of course, master, but now I only serve you. Has someone said something about me? So she seems to be a little insecure about this. Which is interesting. Maybe she thinks that we think she's gonna betray us. What did you do for the demons? I brought my kin to their lair so they could join the demon army and accept the power given to them. I made my tribe stronger. Later, once we Once we no longer needed the demons, my powerful kin would have fought for me. The huntress shoots you a grim and bloodthirsty grin. Aren't you ashamed of betraying your kin? Windowog replies respectfully, but defiantly. I know that Saul would have called me a traitor, but for one reason only. He grew old and cowardly. I accepted the same fate as my fellow tribesmen. I ate the flesh too, and for many gongs I thrashed with fever, groveling, growing like an animal, lunging at anyone and everyone. My body burning from the inside. But I handled it because I was the strongest of them all. Not a single day have I regretted the power I gained, and that's why I am not ashamed of sharing that power with my tribe. I need to use my chapstick, dude. I'm getting all chapped up in here. You know what, man? Fucking chapstick smells good, bro. I got this fucking watermelon chapstick. Oh, man. That smells real good. I'm a big fan. Oh, why did you decide to switch allegiances? Probably something about power and you're stronger or whatever. I was only serving the demons because they promised me power and only as long as they had something to offer me. Windowwalk chuckles, revealing her sharp teeth. But Hasilla can't offer me anything now she's dead, and I was never going to risk my life for her. You are a true leader, one worth following, the huntress says in a fawning tone. Look, man, my guess was spot on. How can I trust you? Windowwog's voice gains a fervent edge. Would I betray you, master? You are the strongest. It would be stupid to defect to your enemies and die along with them. No, I am not that dumb. I have no more questions. Which is, not true. It's good that our paths crossed. You could need a good servant, and I need a strong master. That's true. I do need a ranged DPS. You promised me an army of mongrels. Windowwog narrows her cat-like eyes, and I will give you one, master. But first we have to rebuff the attack on the city. Sol has spent his entire life preparing for the underground crusaders' return to the surface, and he's not going to take any risks. He will order the tribes to hide in the caves like rats, and he will decide whether they are strong enough to fight side by side with us. Maybe he will decide that it's better to sit this one out and wait for another chance to come along. We have to fend off the demons, win a glorious victory, and show Sol that ours is not a lost cause. Then he will give us his warriors, and then it will be my job to turn them into real soldiers. That's it for now. The huntress gazes at you with devotion. Thank you for talking to me, master. Holy shit. Okay, there's also this conversation going on over here, which I don't really feel like having right now. We can have that at any time. We'll have it next time we're at the Defender's Heart. Because it's a lot of reading from what I remember. Sela smiles at you warmly. Hey there. During that march through the dungeon, we never got a chance to exchange a proper greeting. It's high time I asked to shake your hand. Ugh, just so much talking. Dude, what time is it? I've been streaming for an hour, almost 15 minutes. Whoo, baby. Irabeth said your friend Jan Aldori's missing. Do you know where we should look for her? Irabeth is worried about her fighters, I understand that. I wanted to look for Jana myself, so I didn't distract you. But since you're in this too, I could use some help. Jana and I met in Canabras a few days ago and just hit it off. We were drinking together. We went to that unforgettable celebration together too, but we got separated in the crowd. So we should start looking from the main square. That's where I last saw her. Sela frowns. Jana's a good fighter, even if she is green. She couldn't have become an Aldori otherwise. I hope that means she's right. So if you remember, Jana Aldori was drinking next to Sela at the celebration. At the, Canabras founding celebration day, whatever, at the opening of the game. Also, this is not explained until later. Or I don't know if they actually explain this in this game at all. I think they do at some point. But Jana, what she's talking about here, becoming an Aldori. Aldori sword lords are like a specialized kind of fighter. And the idea is that, these fighters, they go to Aldori, which I think is a family in Brevoy, which is like a nearby kingdom to Mindev. And they train with the Aldori family, or Aldori trainers, and they become an Aldori sword lord, which is a style of fighting, I believe, where you have a dueling sword in your main hand, and I think you keep your other hand empty. And with that hand, you kind of like, you're deflecting blows or throwing a net or whatever. And kind of what they do is like they, mechanically, I think they use like the disarm combat tricks or whatever. I don't know. But that's what she's referring to. And when you complete this training, you become an Aldori. So, like, it's not like every Aldori is literally related by blood. It's just like an honorary last name kind of thing. You're now an Aldori because you've undergone the special sword training that you only can learn in this one part of Galarian. So that's what she's talking about there. What do you think of what's going on in Canabras? It's complete chaos. It's lucky we're here to handle it, right? Sela smiles brightly. Then she gives you a worried look. What great conflict within her. Does the way I talk bother you? I know I can seem blasé. Many good people and our protector, Terendelev, died here in Canabras. A paladin of Iomedae is expected to be respectful and solemn. But I prefer to face my troubles with a smile and a bit of common sense. Grief is a weapon they'll use against you. It can undermine a warrior spirit. It's better we hold off on grief until we've driven the last demon and cultist from the city. No, man, your attitude's fine. If we want to win, we can't be mourning our deceased day and night. Plus, joy heals the soul. It's nice when you and your commander think alike. Sela smiles softly. Is fighting demons all you want, or are you looking for something more? How about covering myself in glory and becoming the hero of 100 ballads? Or at least a dozen, if they're lively ones. Sela's eyes shine cheerfully. Anyway, to be more serious, the area around the ward wound is the best place for a paladin who wishes to defend the weak and serve the good. Being part of the crusade is reward enough for me, but there's something that worries me. I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing my brothers in arms. But the Eagle Watch and the other orders are focused in just one aim, the war against the world wound. That's why they can sometimes overlook the smaller things, ordinary misfortunes, you know? I always like to be a wandering knight because any moment I could get up and go help a poor rat folk whose family has been kidnapped, or an old woman whose favorite dog had gone missing. So here's my answer. I don't have some big important goal, and I'll be happy to help those who need it, a little bit here and there. I like Sela. I'd like to know more about you. Of course, tell me anything. Ask me anything, I'll answer honestly. Tell me about yourself. Where are you from? I'm a little bit from Geb. I don't know where the fuck that is. A little bit from Katapesh. Don't know where that is. But mostly from the Knights of Iomedae. I was accepted and began my training at 14. I belong to their ranks more than I belong to any other place. You've come to Mindev by a long road, haven't you? A very long one. Sela looks at you cheerfully. A traveler is expected to have amusing stories. Unfortunately, I have only 3 tales of any interest, and I like to save them for our next feast. Otherwise, I won't have anything to show for myself when it's time to start bragging. And that just won't do. Especially since I'll win the night with my cautionary tale of a battle with chupacabras. So the thing is, if you ask her to tell the tale, she'll tell it, and it's like 4 paragraphs, and I kind of just don't want to read that right now, and I'm sure she'll bring it up again later, so if you really want to hear it, I'm sure we will get to that later. What a feast it will be. We'll talk when we celebrate our next victory. I like your attitude. We'll never overcome grief and misery without hope for the better and dreams of brighter days. What made you become a paladin of Iomedae? This is a bit of a story. Strap in. This whole session has been a bit of a story, hasn't it? Sela's gaze sharpens momentarily. Then she sighs. That's a serious question and a good one. You should ask it of your companions. But it's a long story. To start with, 12 years ago, I was nothing like the person I am now. I roamed the streets of Solku with the other homeless orphans. I stole, I fought, and I was a hired sword for a bit. Not the proper origin of a paladin, is it? Back then, Solku was a city of orphans, widows, and widowers. Gnolls decimated the city regularly. My parents were among their victims. People have heard about their new deaths before they'd finished mourning their previous losses. Can't butcher that sentence, but whatever. One day, a group of Knights of Iomedae brought a glimmer of hope to the city. But while others saw them as saviors and protectors, I was busy pricing up their noble horses and their gleaming mithril armor, wondering just how much one of their pretty swords would fetch. Haha. Haha. Maybe put the exclamation point there. Move the quotation mark there, and then put Sela laughs. A thief lives one day at a time. That's what they say. I was the type who never thought past the next job. Anyway, I was able to sneak into the knight's camp and steal one of their mithril helms. Sela pauses, her voice sad and measured. And I was right there when a gnoll attacked the helm's owner. Asami was her name, and dealt a blow to her unprotected head. A gnoll like all those others she'd fearlessly driven from the gates of Solku. That one blow was fatal. But who was really to blame for her death? The gnoll attacker? Or the young thief named Sela? Life is cruel and full of chaos. Sometimes survival just comes down to luck. So that's how you see it. Sela looks at you with curiosity, but no hostility. I can't accept that point of view. If the story of my youth taught me anything, it's that we're all accountable for our actions. It's too easy to wave off responsibility if you use the cruelty of life as an excuse. Stares at Woldriff. But you were asking what brought me into the ranks of Iomede's warriors. We all choose the paladin's path for our own reasons. Some are guided by nobility of spirit, some by a desire to fight injustice. I became who I am through penance and a debt unpaid. The day Asami died protecting my city, I wanted to kill myself for the terrible guilt I felt. But then I realized it wouldn't make the world any better, and I decided that instead I'd try to take her place. I'd become who she had been and protect the innocents that she would no longer be able to protect. That's noble. What are the principles that paladins of Iomade follow? Sela smiles. I'll tell you. I like to recite our code. It feels like I've said it 1,000 times, but it never gets old. There is strength in these words. After a pause, her voice slow. Oh my God. After a pause, she begins, her voice slow and meditative. I will learn the weight of my sword. Without my heart to guide it, it is worthless. My strength is not in my sword, but in my heart. If I lose my sword, I have lost a tool. If I betray my heart, I have died. I will have faith in the inheritor. I will channel her strength through my body. I will shine in her legion, and I will not tarnish her glory through base actions. I am the first into battle and the last to leave it. I will not be taken prisoner by my free will. I will not surrender those under my command. I will never abandon a companion, though I will honor sacrifice freely given. I will guard the honor of my fellows, both thought and deed, and I will have faith in them. When in doubt, I may force my enemies to surrender, but I am responsible for their lives. I will never refuse a challenge from an equal. I will give honor to worthy enemies and contempt to the rest. I will suffer death before dishonor. I will be temperate in my actions and moderate in my behavior. I will strive to emulate Iomede's perfection. Thank you. I've learned everything I wanted to know. And more than. I hope I didn't bore you. Ask me something else if you like. Thank you for speaking to me. Until next time, Sela smiles. See you. Whew. Ugh. Alright, baby. Let's go. Let's finish talking to Irabeth. Irabeth rubs her red and tired eyes. Any success? How is the city? What is our main objective? You heard what the demon said. They're going to desecrate the ward stone and blow up the whole barrier around the ward wound. That would be an even worse disaster than the World Wound's expansion before the Second Crusade. Not only Canabras, but every city in the ward stone must be... but every city with a ward stone will be destroyed, including the capital. Oh no, not Nerosian. We can't allow that no matter what. We will retake it, even destroy it if we must. Iomede's gift must not become a weapon of the abyss. These ward stones, what are they? They are our greatest treasure. The shield given us by Iomede himself. And placed in Canabras and other Mendevian cities and fortresses by her herald. The chain of ward stones forms a protective barrier that stops the expansion of the ward wound and keeps the demons from moving beyond its borders. I shudder to think what would happen if that barrier falls. Tell me about Eagle Watch. It was a small order created to fight not only demons, but also the enemy within, to maintain the purity of the paladin ranks, prevent heresy, and identify spies. And it failed miserably at that. Well, at least you can acknowledge when you fail. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth infiltrated it and formed their nest within its ranks. The Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, this seems important. Pledging their lives to Baphomet, these cultists schemed to subvert the good works of the Crusaders. They caused trouble in Crusader camps, instigating fights and egging participants on to greater violence. They spread lies and sow the seeds of fear and voices sweetened by magic. Some have even assumed the roles of holy crusaders and risen in the ranks of the other knightly orders, waiting for the moment when their treachery can be used to achieve a most foul end. After the Queen entrusted me with leading the order, Evie and I practically built it from scratch. We got rid of dead weight, people who weren't committed. We organized ways to transmit messages and others safely. We introduced reliable ciphers. We found tacit allies around the city, from crusader orders to street beggars. This was my personal crusade, to purge the city and the Templars who had infested it, and I thought I was winning. I could feel it. We were so close to driving the cultists out of Canabras, but Erebeth frowns. It's hard to admit, but those successes didn't count for much once the demons entered the city. On the contrary, if it wasn't for you, there wouldn't be a headquarters at the Defender's Heart. The cultists would have served up the city on a platter to the demons. The lines on Erebeth's forehead soften. Yes, that's true. It's good we achieved something. Thank you. Allow me to ask a few personal questions. Holy fuck. Frowning a little, Erebeth nods. Please, but I must warn you, there are some things I don't have the right to discuss. Where are you from? I was born in Canabras. I grew up on a farm just outside of it. But my way back home lay at the end of a long and winding road. It took me years of traveling through foreign lands before I came to where I've always belonged. How did you become a paladin? A bitter smile appears on the half-orc's face. I don't much like to remember it. Believe it or not, the story of how I became a paladin is also the story of how I failed to become a knight. Okay? My parents were crusaders. May their souls stand together in Iomede's celestial army. Calm down, goddamn. When I was born, they retired from the war and started preparing me to continue their legacy. But my father was an orc. You'd be pressed to find a calmer, wiser, more pious servant of the goddess than he. But still, all his life he was dogged by sideways looks and whispers. When I grew older and it was time for me to serve, I decided anywhere but Canabras. That was where my father had served loyally, and his only reward had been injustice. Beside the witch hunters led by the honorable Prelate Holren, stalked the city with a heavy hand. Who knows what they'd have done to a strange girl with green skin. Instead, I went to a smirk that looks more like a painful grimace crosses her face. You can laugh if you want, but I was young and foolish. I chose Lastwall, of all places. You can imagine how well I was accepted in a country that's been battling orcs of Belkzen since its foundation. Fuck is orcs of Belkzen? Well, orcs can be found throughout Galarian, nothing else. Nowhere else are they as plentiful or live in as densely populated settlements as in the hold of Belkzen. Belkzen is an unforgiving wasteland filled with shrub brush, deep mountains, and uneven badlands where water is scarce and generally limited to the celestial flood road. Interesting. There's just more, man. There were many like me, but were all treated as second-class citizens. To the locals, my green skin was worse than leper scabs. Even my brothers in faith kept their distance. I took my vows, and the goddess granted me the power of a paladin. But even then, not a single order would accept me into their ranks. I spent another 6 months knocking on doors before I realized the simple truth. I serve Iomade, not these people. I don't have to prostrate myself before them. So I left as a paladin, but not a knight. It's probably hard for you as a human to imagine what it's like when the very color of your skin and the fangs in your mouth make people in the street turn on their heel to avoid you. I mean no offense, of course. How did you come to join a knightly order? Why do I keep asking her questions? Oh, dude, don't we have like a fucking war to win, dude? What am I? I'm just... Canonically, the commander just hangs out fucking... like, chilling in this tavern for like 2 hours asking everyone their life story. I left Lastwall and went traveling. The goddess guided me and my path led me to where atrocities were happening. I often fought in exchange for gold, but never for unworthy aims, of course. I wandered the river kingdoms for a few years killing monsters and tracking down criminals. Sometimes I thought I was just wasting time, that my true place was back in Canabras. But I pushed those thoughts away. I didn't want to think about going back. In the end, divine providence brought me to my senses. It happened in Timon. I was tracking a gang of bandits, which my employer suspected was a cover for Razmiran spies. I managed to find their lair, but inside I found something far more dangerous than spies. An unholy temple to Zon Kuthin. Was that some goddamn Lovecraftian shit? The deity Zon Kuthin, also known as the Midnight Lord, the Dark Prince, and the Prince of Pain. Holy shit. God of darkness, envy, loss, and pain, possesses one of the most twisted and evil minds in the great beyond. Very cool. His position as a god of pain is well earned, and he has been the root of countless tortures, murders, and worse throughout time. He was once a benevolent demigod named Du Brawl, but was corrupted when he traveled to the far dark places beyond the plains and returned to his current form. His half-sister Relan still holds out hope that she can redeem him, though the Lord of Shadows shows no sign of remorse or compassion. Very cool, very cool. When I broke in, the cultists were about to sacrifice someone, the person who was destined to become my wife, Anevia. But that's another story. Oh shit, really? Huh. After I cut down the cultists, I examined their papers and couldn't believe my eyes. A network of evil cults had spread throughout all of Avestan, including Mindev. Worse, the documents showed that their allies, the Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth, had infested my native Canabras and were even among the ranks of the Paladins. After that, delaying my homecoming would have been tantamount to desertion. Luckily, I was no longer alone. Anevia was as eager to destroy the cultists as I was. Anevia and I hurried back to the Canabras. We couldn't trust anyone. The papers indicated that the cultists had infiltrated everything. Luckily, I had some experience in investigation, and my beloved... The half-orc smiles warmly. She knew her way around working locks, tailing people, and trading information with the city's bottom feeders. Soon we defeated, alas, not the whole Hydra, but a few of its heads. Do you know who turned out to be the leader of the cultists? The commander of Eagle Watch. Holy shit, that doesn't surprise me at all. Can you imagine? While Prelate Holren was chasing witches throughout the city, Third Crusade. Right? Oh my god. I have a lot to read there. The enemy had infiltrated the very order responsible for internal security, not international security. But I guess it is responsible for international security in a way. The scandal reached the ears of the Queen. At first, she planned to disband the order in disgrace, but then she offered its command to me and put its salvation in my hands. Of course, there was one small catch. I wasn't a knight. But I was made a commander just the same, skipping the usual progression through the ranks. Okay, what's going on here? Dude, it's like 9:48. Okay, during the First Crusade, holy warriors streamed into Mindev, where they encountered Sarkorians practicing their unique druidic faith. Cool. The Crusaders mistook the wooden idols and rustic rituals for evidence of demonic influence. Groups of witch hunters emerged from the disorganized chaos of the First Crusade. These witch hunters were often self-styled, their tactics more than brutal trial and error. Oof. Sounds bad. The least bit of evidence could mark a target for investigation. A clubbed foot, a thick accent, or even a suspicious absence of abnormalities. Dude. Okay. The witch hunter groups gained reputations for being cruel and arbitrary. Although these weren't always deserved, demons ranged freely across the world and often spilled into Mindev. Demonic possession did happen, though not nearly as often as the witch hunters claimed. Genuine witch hunters used divine magic and cautious investigation to draw out and destroy fiends, but they were rare compared to the zealous inquisitors who burned innocents at the stake. With the advent of the Fourth Crusade, the authorities took strong measures to end the bloody witch hunts of Mindev. Since then, the frequency of hunts has dropped considerably, but they still happen. I can't imagine the followers of Zon Kuthin in alliance with demon worshippers. Shouldn't they hate each other? They should. But Baphomet's minions are masters of deception. They manipulate Zon Kuthin's butchers as eagerly as Iomede's knights. The cultists from that unholy temple didn't know the true face of their associates in Canabras. We ourselves learned the truth much later after getting to the bottom of their nest. Okay. How do the people of Canabras feel about your background? They tolerated it surprisingly well. I shouldn't have been so wary. Crusaders don't tend to be prejudiced as a rule. What the fuck you just told me? I just read a, like, whole ass paragraph about the witch hunts, bro. But I guess those are the Inquisitors. Are those the same thing? I guess they're, like, different. After all, heroes from all over the world, even from other continents, come here to fight demons. Apparently, the people were only suspicious of full-blooded orcs. There were already many like me here, and we don't have any problems. Though the locals do have their superstitions. Mendev is as merciless as Lastwall. They just have a different set of victims. Whew, I kept seeing those same sideways looks and scowls, hearing the familiar whispers. But where once they used to whisper behind my back and point to me, now they whisper in my ear and point to someone else. It's so strange to be on the other side of humiliation, to wipe the spit from your face and suddenly be invited to change position and spit on someone else. You must have figured out by now that I'm talking about tieflings. It's true that there are many of them among the cultists and few among our crusaders. And our fighters do all they can to drive away those who would be our allies. People shun them, call them a Relu spawn, or worse. And if they chose to be born like that, as if they chose to be born like that, I believe it's quite a feat to rise against the call of one's blood and join the forces of good. Still, most only see them as an enemy. I once saw a knight bleeding to death because he couldn't let a tiefling priest touch his wound. Alas, I haven't been able to change this in all my time at Canopus. Dude, sounds like tieflings need, like, equal rights, bro. They're treated as, like, second-class citizens here. Tell me about Anevia. We met in Timon, as I was, yeah, I know this. The day the queen knighted me was the second happiest day of our life. The first happiest was our wedding. Aw, but Anevia isn't just my beloved. She's my staunchest ally. We share every victory and defeat. The best of me is alive thanks to her. Thank you for saving her back then, the day Canopus fell. Before her return, the only thing giving me the strength to protect Defender's heart was the hope that I'd see her again. We are in your debt. Thank you for your answers. May Omade keep you safe. Holy shit. We're finally done with all that. What is this? I didn't even read it. Helor and the Spinner of Nightmares. This is actually important. Fuck. I gotta, like, read this. Book of the first of the astonishing exploits of Venture Captain Helor, published by the Pathfinder Society. Okay, so I'm gonna read this. The reason I'm gonna read this is because Helor and the Spinner of Nightmares come up later. Helor? Whatever. The Spinner of Nightmares let out a fiendish laugh, and the wind rose up, sending the sound rippling across the roof of the cavernous temple and off into the darkening sky. You cannot protect them, the demon worshipper performed a graceful pirouette, as though she were mocking the ungainly Venture Captain, who was slowly picking his way across the slippery roof tiles. You may have saved Cletus, fuck, today, but you won't save anyone who gets in my way. I will always be one step ahead, plunging a dagger into the heart of the next fool and sullying your path with blood that you will never be able to wipe clean. Helor lost his footing once again, and only by a miracle did he not go plummeting to his death. His heart threatened to beat right out of his chest, but his mind was consumed with feverish awareness of how close he was to his target. Only a few dozen paces separated him from the Spinner of Nightmares. Close enough to shoot, but the Venture Captain wanted to make sure the bolt wouldn't kill her, merely maim and immobilize her. The hand crossbow that Helor concealed under the folds of his cloak was throwing off his balance. The jig's up, the Spinner of Nightmares. Wouldn't he just say the jig's up, Spinner of Nightmares? Not the Spinner of Nightmares. Seems a little odd. The Venture Captain leaned forward as though trying to catch his breath, a diversionary tactic designed to weaken the vigilance of the villain, who seemed to be waiting for something on the peak of the roof. You have one chance to save your pathetic life. Surrender now. The Spinner of Nightmares froze, as if considering the captain's word, before lunging forward like a snake and spitting with contempt. You will never see her again. Click. Twang. The whistle of the bolt released from its cradle. I should pause the game. and the swish of the swish of the spinner of Nightmare's cloak as she dodged the shot, laughing. Healer let out a bellow, pouring all his hatred and despair into the shout. Dashed forward and, slipping onto the roof, tumbled to his knees. Gripping the jagged roof tile with the last of his remaining strength, the venture captain swallowed a grunt of pain and raised his head, only to watch his daughter's abductor be swept away on the black wind. I will find you, the spinner of nightmares. Healer's shout seemed to carry far and wide across the whole of Mendev. I'll find you, and I'll tear out your duplicitous heart. Oh shit, he's right there. I forgot that he was just fucking standing there, dude. A tall, athletic man greets you. His hair is prematurely gray and shorn close to his head in the military style. He is lean and well-groomed, and a monocle twinkles coldly in his eye. The bold set of his jaw and his large, agile frame attest that here is a man who is always ready to be on the move. Greeting, I am Healer, Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society. I'm not going to go through all his dialogue because I've been reading for too long. I'm the superior officer among Pathfinders in this region of Mendev. However, the Society is running almost no operations here right now. Besides me, there is almost no Pathfinders here. Actually, I'm only stuck here because of an old feud with a demon worshipper known as the Spinner of Nightmares. I've had to work alone, without the work of the Society, support of the Society. But I've made a lot of acquaintances among the local mercenaries and daring fighters. If you need any good fighters for an honest cause, speak to me. So, you can basically use this guy to respec your character if you have character respecking enabled, or purchase buy mercenaries, which are basically just like little flesh bags, personality-less flesh bags that will like follow you around, and you know, you can like do whatever you want with them. You can make them any class or whatever you want. So I'm just fucking done with all the reading. I've been doing that for literally 2 hours. I'm ready to like play the game. So the first thing to do, first off, again, killing it with the music. This music beautifully encapsulates the like kind of what I feel like the difficulty of reclaiming Canabras. There's almost kind of like a sorrow to it, that even despite how terrible everything is going, the Crusaders still fight and they carry on, and they're gonna reclaim this fucking city no matter what. So we could rest so that Camellia and Woljif get their spells back, but like, I don't want to waste time because time is very important here. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a Brit addled in the mind because I just spent 2 hours being a reading robot. However, we did learn a lot of interesting things. Let's go for the Thiefling's hideout. There's a lot of things to do now that the first act is really opening up. There's a lot of things to do in the market square. We need to make it to Blackwing Library as soon as possible. Tower of Estrad, we need to get there. We are going to go by the Tierbade residence. We're going to do everything we can in the first act, but there are some things that are super time sensitive. So we're going to have to do those things first. I'm debating going to the market square or the Tiefling's hideout first. We'll go to the Tiefling's hideout. I know I just quick save there. See what I mean? I'm addicted to my F5 key. And now that we're here, by the way, I hope you're ready for more reading. I should have gone to the square. The basement is dark and dank, and you are immediately struck by the hostility of the gathered tieflings. 5 of them are kneeling along the wall, separate from the rest. The tall woman, who had been cleaning her fingernails with the tip of a knife, greets you with narrowed eyes. Brother Woljef, you got my message then. Sorry I couldn't swing by sooner, dear sister Charisme. I'm sorry, guys, I'm from America. It was just one thing after another. First I was in shackles, I was still in shackles, and I was being watched, and then the chief got me out, and I came here straight away. I knew you'd be waiting on me. Enough talking, or else we'll be here all night. So, we had a clear plan. We were gonna wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods, and leave. Even if the neighbors called the guard, there was still time to get away. But what happened? That bitch Irabeth showed up almost right away. She knew we'd be there. Somebody betrayed us, and I have a good idea of who it was. What do you say to that? Make it quick. Do you think Woljef knows the name of the traitor? Charisme turns to you. He speaks. I thought Woljef brought you along so he'd have someone to hide behind if things went south. Yes, he knows the name of the traitor. Every gang that Brother Woljef has been a part of very quickly comes to an end. Their hideout location was passed to the guards, or their competitors found out where they could ambush them. Woljef is the only one who always comes out smelling of roses. If you think about it, you'll come to the same conclusion as us. We actually know that because Woljef told us that he basically confessed, like, yeah, I jumped from gang to gang. Every gang that I left, I betrayed for the other gang. And I sold people out so that I could live. The beauties of water. We're not a lawful person. Canabras is burning. Why are you squabbling here instead of fleeing the city? Charisme purses her lips. I'd be glad to leave like the rest of my brothers and sisters, but in the family, there's nothing worse than betrayal. And it's something we do not forgive. We don't forgive anyone who lets traitors off the hook either. If I don't find the rat, my superiors... Let's just say I'll wish I was burning in Canabras. I want to keep living, so I'm going to take a chance until I find out who the traitor is here. Who is the traitor here? No one is leaving. Woljef, tell us your side of the story. What happened? What's there to tell? About a week ago, Sister Charisme got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me and those 5 over there, I mean. Woljef jerks his head toward the 5 tieflings kneeling by the wall. Thieflings kneeling by the wall. Important distinction. Not all tieflings are thieflings, but all thieflings are tieflings. Kind of like a squares and rectangles situation. Video games are fun, man. I'm having a great time. I am having fun. It's just a lot of reading. There are going to be parts of the game where it's just like fucking blocks of text. Just block and block and block of text. And like there will be hours, plural, of like doing nothing but like reading and management, and we'll get more into that as we get there, but whew. Let's get this on. Let's get it on. She rounds us up and she says, we've got a score. Oh, ancient trees and wonders. I promise I can pronounce that word. It's just like all the reading is getting to me. Ancient trees and wonders. The one place nobody's ever been able to hit, the place that's guarded by a golem. But now a powerful scroll that would knock out the golem just happened to come into our possession, along with a tip-off that the shop owner would be gone on our particular night. Also, 6 of us know a bit of magic, and we know that any enchanted junk will sell for a pretty penny, so we're in. And now the most important thing was that none of us was to be hanging around about the shop ahead of the job. No casing the place, no calling attention to ourselves from either the golem or its master. This job was top secret. Please, for the love of God, stop messaging me. just adding me. I'm in too many Discord servers, dude. You get all these everyone's at here. That's all true so far. Go on. Oh my fucking god, dude. Woljif always has so much to say. We did everything right with the locks and the golem. I picked the lock. I remember it clear as day. Sister Dalna was on lookout. Brother Melroon had the scroll. Doffy, Tavi, and Varnier brought the sacks. We covered the windows and lit the torches. I remember scooping up rings and tossing them in a sack, and one right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under a table after, and next thing I know, Irabeth was there. Everybody scampered, but I was still under the table. Not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out, but then those blockheads were dragging me out by my tail and put me in shackles. They took all my rings off me, about 20,000 worth. Good Lord, Woljif, that's a lot. And to add insult to injury, I never even found the last one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So they caught you, poor thing, stripped you of your loot, and you didn't even manage to stash anything. Charisme is pointedly polishing her knife. Where's the moon of the abyss, Brother Woljif? What is the moon of the abyss? It was an amulet. It used to sit on a little cushion in the window of Ancientries and Wonders. Sterling silver, sparkled like a star, fine piece of work. On one side there was a half moon, you know, a crescent, a waning moon, and in the middle there was a dark crystal, like it was eclipsing the moon. Old man Fellman was so proud of that amulet. Excuse me. He used to say, "I'll never sell it, it's the jewel of my collection." Woljif sighs unhappily. I used to go there to see what kinds of treasure there were in the world. There's nothing else to look at in Canabras. People used to claim it was a powerful thing, but who's to say? If you ever stole a thing like that, you'd have the guards on you the second you tried to fence it. Everybody knew that you were always hanging around the Ancientries and Wonders, drooling over the moon of the abyss. Did you think you could swipe it in all the commotion and keep it for yourself? Did you hope we'd all be locked up and you'd get off scot-free with a fancy trinket to boot? Don't take me for a mug, Woljif. I see right through you. Why would Irabeth arrest her own informant? Took the words right out of my mouth. It doesn't make any sense. If I was the rat, I'd have kissed her on the hand and been long gone by now. You know me, sister. I'm a cautious fella, not an idiot. Why would I go against the family? So the fish in the Cellin can have a nice Woljif-sized dinner? The moon of the abyss is a pretty bauble, to be sure, but it's just an amulet. It ain't worth dying over. You knew Irabeth's people would protect you. You knew you could pin the moon going missing on them. And now you've come here with backup. You knew exactly what I was going to say to you. Only problem is, nobody's returned the amulet to Philman. Are you giving Irabeth a cut? Is that it? Have you seen her? Do you think she'd take a cut of anything I offered her? She can't be bought. She's like 3 heralds of Iomade all rolled into one. He speaks the truth. You'll find some knights who take bribes, I'm sorry to say, but Irabeth Tirabade isn't one of them. Thank you, Sela. Go on, Woljif. That's the whole story. That's the whole sorry story. Woljif crosses his arms, looking affronted. Some family this turned out to be. It's just a name in the end. In a real family, people take each other at their word. They don't throw around accusations. I didn't take the moon of the abyss. What am I going to do with it? You can't sell it to no crusaders. It's a special item. You can't wear it. It'll get nicked. It's pretty to look at, sure, but it ain't that pretty. If it's that important to you, Sister Charisme, I'll find it. And I'll drag the traitor here by his horns, just so you don't end up at the bottom of the Cellin. But do you know who you're gonna owe me? For that? What the fuck is that sentence? I don't know how to read. Holy shit, I'm losing it. An apology. Do you know what you're gonna owe me for that? Oh my god. An apology. Right here in front of everyone, you're going to apologize loud and clear so that everyone hears it. You'll say, "Sorry, Woljif, you're a good guy, and I was wrong about you." Fine. You're one of my people, which is why I'm going to give you some time. But if you run, Brother Woljif, the family will get you wherever you go. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, fearing poison in every cup and every meal. You'll look into the eyes of every tiefling you meet, wondering if the family's come for you. You'll have no peace, but one day you'll be tired of running. You'll stop to catch your breath, and that's what will get you. Got it? You've got a way with words, Sister Charisme. A way that almost made me wet myself, but a way nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll go have a chat with that scary gal, Irabeth. She knows you a little. We can ask her who ratted us out. I'll let you do the talking. We'll find the real traitor. And I'll get my apology. Onward to Irabeth, Chief. Let's go clear my good name. Root out the traitor, but be quick about it. Time's running out. I don't want to get chewed up by demons. So, there is kind of like in Act 1. This is like, as far as I can recall, the only time-sensitive act. Oh shit, I do need to talk to Horgus. Fucking, how did I talk to everyone but Horgus? We'll try to evade them. We did. Windowag is a better... No, wait. Does Windowag have better stealth than... No, he does. Then why is Windowag making the stealth check? Whatever. It succeeded, I don't care. You'd think the person who's best at it would make the check. I'm itching to use these abilities that I got. Let's go talk to Horgus first. Horgus Worm. Here, take this. Yes, it's 2,000 coins. Take your payment and remember that Horgus Worm always keeps his word. You helped me get back to the surface, and I duly paid you for escorting me. Now, speaking of our future cooperation, Horgus looks at you with unvarnished disapproval, his arms folded across his chest, his foot tapping impatiently. I have a job that would be perfect for someone like you. Naturally, I'll pay generously for your services. What do you mean a job for someone like me? For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze and then lie down drunk in a gutter. Or do you think you're different somehow? A traveling knight, perhaps? Noble of heart, but without a coin to your name? Horgus sizes you up critically, then sighs and shrugs. You seem a reliable enough ally to me, and you did get me out of those mongrel caves. So why should I care what you do with my money once you've got it? Succeeded a perception check. Horgus seems like one of those people who think their entire world owes them something. However, you hear notes of hysteria behind his smug arrogance. It's as though he's really quite nervous, but taking great pains to conceal it. Noble birth doesn't give you the right to behave badly. I would ask you to refrain from such statements in the future. Oh, dude, nice. Another beautiful bot in my chat room at this time of year, localized entirely within this kitchen. Horgus puts his hands on his hip. Oh, really? How impudent. No one dares tell us Horgus Gwyrm how to address the rabble. Okay, so what does this job involve? You shall be my bodyguard. You see, I have good reason to return to my mansion here in Canabras. I still have... Well, it doesn't matter, it's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden in the wealthy part of the city. Even before the demons attacked, every thief and fraudster in the city who tried to get inside, one way or another. I shuddered to imagine the state it's in now. I have little hope that my guards were able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect that the servants fled when they saw the demons. Only Abadar knows what's happened there since. Therefore, I would ask that you meet me at my mansion and guard me there until I complete my business. I already asked the local paladins for help, but they've no desire to set foot outside this tavern. Damn cowards and traitors, that's what they are. Also, please do take Camellia with you. I trust that girl more than the rest of your gang. She's of noble birth, after all. Yeah, okay, fucking upper class bitch. What, you can't trust the rabble? What kind of reward are we talking about? 1,000 gold coins, Horgus replies without hesitation. Yeah, I'm gonna squeeze this guy for all I can. Double the reward, and I'll think about it. Succeeded. Several tense moments pass in silence. Then Horgus's face relaxes. Deal. Deal. Marvelous. Most excellent. Horgus's face relaxes, smoothing a few of the tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know the city like the back of my hand. But do hurry, unless you want me to lower your reward. So, like, yeah, there's a lot of fucking, like, time shit. You do need to hurry. Like, the time sensitive stuff is not, like, that time sensitive, but it is still annoying. Like, if you wait too long, certain things can happen that we'll get into as we come across them. There's a traitor I'm trying to track down. Who's your informant among the thieflings? Irabeth arches her brow in surprise. Canabras is threatened by a demon horde, and you have enough spare time to help out thieves? Erebeth sighs. I don't like this, but I hope I know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note, and disappeared. Erebeth hesitates as she tries to remember. He had a cloak with a hood masking his face, but the long horns, didn't fit under it. There's also a guardian golem in Ancient Trees and Wonders, the shop they tried to rob. The owner gave us the construct's code word just in case. The golem was destroyed, but the head seems to be intact, so you can interrogate the thing and find what it saw. The code word is Hand of Iori. Iori. Okay. The shop's owner must have escaped, and there's a chance we'll get lucky with the golem. I don't really want to get lucky with the golem. That's not how I roll. Although, I mean, maybe Erebeth is into that. I don't know. I'm an open-minded fella. Don't knock it till you try it. Ooh, man, I gotta say I'm getting tired. But I can't just end this session with literally, like, no combat. So let's go to Ancient Trees and Wonders. No, there's not going to be combat here, not from what I remember. So we're going to have to go a little bit more. Scroll. Scroll of Blessed Weapon. Hello? Is anyone there? The polished oak shelves once showcased magic rings and amulets. Now, all that's left are the grubby handprints of the robbers. I'll take that. Same thing.
Huh? What's that?
Windowog out here spotting the demon hearts, bro. Some scrolls have been torn apart, and some have been trodden on by muddy boots. Okay, yes, I fucking hear you. Phew, free at last. I thought I'd be flattered like a pancake under that rubble. Much obliged. Damn, I'm not in any pain, but my head is still foggy for some reason. What's with all the hubbub in my city? In the city. My name's Finney, and I'm a Pathfinder. If there's anything I can do to help, I will. You're a Pathfinder? That's right, Finian Disma, Pathfinder and Crusader. I roam around the world wound wherever my tasks lead me, scouting mostly, but this last while I've been hanging around in Canabras, waiting until I'm needed again. I'm bored out of my mind, but at least this shop makes for better lodging than some inn. What I meant was, what are you? What's that supposed to mean? I just told you. You want to know where I hail from, is that it? Well, I'm from around here, actually. We Kellids of the Star Eye clan fled when the World Wound troubles begin, but I couldn't stand by while the demons wreaked havoc, so I came here. Or did you mean to ask about my weapon of choice? My best weapon is every weapon. I'm a skilled and capable fellow, if I do say so myself. I can swing a sword and poke with a spear, but what I'm best at is communing with the spirits. They call folks like me phantom blades. I promise I don't have COVID. I'm just like getting a dry throat from all this speaking. Phantom blade, what's that? What is this, Phantom Hourglass? It's like a spiritualist, but with a twist. It means that some spirit took a liking to me at some point, and it can turn into whatever weapon I need. Handy, eh? I don't need any whetstones or enchantments. Doesn't take up space either. Although, to be fair, it's not a barrel of laughs. The spirits that bestow this kind of power don't come from happy places, and they're not exactly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They usually appear after great battles that leave few survivors. The city is under attack by demons. Wait, what? The last thing I saw was some thieves breaking in here. Then the guards came, everyone was running around. After that, it's a bit of a blur. Right when things got intense, they dropped the cabinet on me. I couldn't even help the owner. I was just lying under the shelves like a dimwit until you came. If there are demons in Canabras, we must do something about it. The city needs every blade it can get. Hey, do you mind if you take me with you? I don't think I can handle this alone. And besides, the more the merrier. How did you end up in this shop? Gah! I've been here so long I don't even remember anymore. just sitting and waiting on any word from the Pathfinders, but it looks like everyone has forgotten about me. The shop owner is an old friend of the Pathfinder, so I've taken up residence here. Well, okay, I'll take you with me. I swear you won't regret it. Regret it. I can do all sorts of things. Is there anything your party is missing? A sword, a spear, a bow? Just say the word. Unique thing about Finian is that he can become anything you want to be, baby, and you don't even have to pay by the hour. I want him to be a throwing axe for Windwalk. And he is a magic weapon, so you get a bonus to hit and a bonus to damage. And it also has some enchantments on it, like it has Cold Iron and Ghost Touch, so it will deal normal damage to demons. It will also ignore armor, however, it cannot injure undead. There's the dragon. Yeah, that's the little dragon pal that Anric has equipped on his belt. That I did like 3 hours ago. Good lord. Oh, and there's the pipe fox. Pipe fox is pretty cool. It's just another little pet you can have around. We're just gonna put all the pets on Anric because I think that's funny, to be honest. And here we've got some rubble. The formerly well-appointed shop now looks in a sorry state. It has been completely ransacked. Lying in the corner next to the scorched wall are the soot-covered shards of a clay golem's head. The golem's eyes glow in the gloom. Master codeword, hand of Iori. Codeword correct. Golem's eyes go by orders. Man, I'm losing it. Where'd you come from? Who created you? The golem. Yeah, okay, I'm not reading all that. Tell me about the suspicious people who came to the shop last week. 56 individuals entered the shop. Human, female, old. No male, old, human, female. He'll be reeling off customers till nightfall. We need to ask it in a different way. Were any of the suspicious people tieflings? Tieflings, 3. Tiefling male, middle-aged, tiefling male, young, tiefling female, young. Describe the young male tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height, short horns curled backwards, medium length hair, eye color yellow, hair color black. Special observations, annoyed master. Horns, hair, tail. That sounds like me, but it's not possible. I know what the security's like here. I didn't come near the place. I give you my words, chief. No special observations. Subject was unremarkable. There, see, couldn't have been me. Describe the middle-aged male tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height, long horns, medium length tail. Eye color, pale blue. Skin color, dark. Special observations, red hair. Oh, that's our trader. I'll bet your life on it. Kara's mage rolled into our heads that we wasn't to go about hanging shop. Red hair, we got a couple of gingers. And plenty more who get out. And plenty more who get it out of a bottle. So much for special observation. Golems ain't all they're cracked up to be, eh? Maybe its master knows more. Describe the female tiefling. Tiefling female. Above average height. Hair long, pale, tail not observed. Long horns, eye color blue. Special observation, scar nose baldric with gold stitching. I don't know that one either. Enough. Where's your master? Filmin Furl whatever. Ooh, my master is in his hiding place. Revealing the location of the hiding place is prohibited, prohibited, prohibited. He's likely holed up in the basement where the commotion started. The entrance should be around here somewhere. Where's the basement of this place? The basement is below me. I guard the basement. Leaving my post is prohibited. Can I just move you? Yeah. Move the golem. She failed.
Stupid thing.
Yeah, it's in your way. Move it.
Anything for you.
Good lord, that took us 45 minutes, Windwog. Just watching her fucking fail to move a golem. Anyways, we're in the basement now. And look who's there. The elderly gnome, so portly as to be nearly spherical, is curled up in the corner of the basement shaking. Marauders, bandits, scavengers. Please, calm down. No one's gonna rob you. Actually, we're gonna fucking rob this guy. Are you the shop owner? The gnome seems to settle slightly. My name's Filmin Fruliatros. I was the owner of the shop, but I'm not sure I can claim to be the owner of anything now. I just hope there's something left of it. Oh, come on. Your shop's fine. It's a bit ransacked, maybe, but nothing a bit of polish. Spit and polish can't fix. Where were you the night of the robbery? Do you think I robbed my own shop? I was here in the basement. I was told to make it look like I'd left. The watchman was very keen to get their hands on those thieflings. They seem to be multiplying all over Galarian. So, of course, I did everything I said. And I've been stuck in this basement ever since. The golem wouldn't move away from the door no matter how much I yelled at it. But then I thought that was all to be... Then I thought that it was all to the good. Somebody came by after the guards and caused a ruckus upstairs, bellowing like mad, taking advantage of my absence. Tell me about the tieflings you have visited... That I visited Anric recently. Why should I tell you anything about my cousin? You're not from City Guard. You watch. Chief, if he's digging his heels in, just say the word, and I know how to loosen his tongue. Woljif. Try to persuade him. Just show him his shadow. Persuade him how? I ain't even gonna try. I'm just gonna let him have a little chat. Woljif erupts in blue flame, and the shadow of a winged demon with claws grows behind him. With the devourer demon from the depths of the abyss. Philman recoils in terror, covering his head in his hands. I'll tell you everything. Yes, I really did kick that pup, but I didn't know it. But I didn't know it going flying halfway. Am I just, like, tired and delusional, or what is that, like, a fucked up sentence? Yes, I really did kick that pup, but I didn't know it going flying halfway across the yard. He's just, speaking, he's just stuttering because he's nervous. I'm sure it's not an error of the writer. The blue flame and the shadow vanished. Pup, what pup? Tieflings. Tell us about the tieflings. Tell me about Woljif. Philman's face wrinkles in distaste. Woljif Jefto, right? Yes, I've known him a long time, though I'd rather not know him at all. He's been skulking about my shop for years, treating the place like a free museum. He always wanted to look at the moon of the abyss. I'd chase him out, but he'd slink back in again. If he was with the gang that robbed my shop, I'll bet anything he swiped the moon. How come I'm the prime suspect? Whoever betrayed us all, that's the one who's got the moon. I want to see it return to you, too. You get me? I don't like the idea of other people's grubby mitts on. Tell me about the red-haired tiefling. Film if I was the red-haired tiefling, I suppose yes, but there was one who came in. Spent a long time looking around. He was a person of modest means, I could tell by his clothes, but he asked me to show him an Azamar-made chainmail. He certainly couldn't afford it. That's when I suspected that something was off. I checked everything after he left, but nothing was missing, and that put my mind at ease. I can't remember what he looked like. I didn't get a good look at his face. All I remember is that he was wrapped in a green cloak like he was freezing, but that's all I have. That's it with that description. We'll surely sniff him out. Tell me about the tiefling woman. Okay, cool. Yeah, whatever. We have everything we need. Let's rob this guy.
I am helpful, am I not?
Certainly are. Just stealing all this wine. Let's get the fuck out of here, bro. Although this is a neat little shop. I do like this area. Oh my god, who on earth is adding me at this time of year? Localized entirely within my kitchen. Okay, we did it. Let's go back to the Thiefling's hideout. Da-na-na. This is the first thing usually that I'll do on a new playthrough. Oh, finally a fight. First thing I'll do on a new playthrough is complete Woljif's quest.
Save the last one for me.
Because you get you do get Finian the talking weapon, and you also get Woljif. And upon completion of the quest, you'll get another thing that we'll soon see.
I'll cut you wide open.
She's gonna cut you wide open. Learn to hit, noob. So yeah, Anric kind of fucking sucks at hitting things. Why is he getting a... Oh, because he's fighting defensively. Yeah, we don't want you to do that right now. Camellia... If she wasn't fighting defensively, she'd have... Oh no, she isn't fighting defensively. Okay. I guess we're out of combat. So, they don't have that applied right now. Okay. Well, that was fun, killing those 2 giant spiders in 1.5 turns. Was the peak of my session. Okay, I know who it is. So we're just gonna complete this quickly. I'm ready to give a name. Melrune. Could go through more dialogue, but I'm a bit done with this quest. You'll pay for this, Votio, and Hepsimir will get you in the end. What the fuck are you talking about? Grab him. Take him away for questioning. Karazme looks wary, but her earlier tension has clearly lifted. He confessed. Someone connected to the cult of Baphomet ordered him to steal the Moon of the Abyss, and the best idea he could come up with was to drag us into it. He got the scroll to take out the golem. He betrayed us to Erebeth so he could wipe the amulet in the chaos. He thought we'd get nicked, and he'd slink off to meet up with his customer. You got the Moon of the Abyss? Let me take a look at it one more time. My whole life I've dreamed of it with my hands for only a second. He said when he got to the window display the moon was gone. He's lying, of course. He had time to hand the moon off to the person who ordered it. Bloody cultist. I really don't give a toss. I'm just glad we got to the bottom of this. What are you doing now? Clearing out of this place. City's dying. I don't want to die with it. The city would have already died if it were not for people who stood up to defend it with weapons in their hands. So defend it. I'm not stopping you as your city. I don't care. Can I join the family? Karazme bursts out laughing. That's all you want? You can have your pick of the non-tiefling gangs. You've no need to tread on our territory. The family's for tieflings only. No exceptions. If you're a tiefling, you can join the thieflings. If you complete this quest line, I don't know if you have to pass a persuasion check, but if you do it, she'll be like, yeah, sure, I guess. And then she'll give you like a ring. And I think it's a pretty good ring from what I remember. What are you going to do to the traitor? Karazme nonchalantly picks at her nails with her knife tip. He'll be sent to his distant relatives on their farm to think about what he did. Any more questions? I have to go. Good decision. I don't plan to hang around long either. Karazme turns to leave. Sister! Woljif nervously bites his lips. Bites his lip. His cheeks are flushed and his tail swishing through the air. You forgot something. What now? You should be happy to be alive. An apology. You promised to apologize to me loudly in front of everyone. We're alone now, but I still want to hear it. Well, that. Karazme shrugs indifferently. So, sorry, I suppose, for being wrong about you this time. Don't think that just because you didn't act like a jerk this one time, that it cancels out the rest of your record. I know about all of you. I know all about you. Till next time, Woljif. That was the most pathetic apology I've ever heard. Succeeded at a diplomacy check. Karazme's eyes harden, but then she sighs. All right. Fine. I'm sorry, Woljif. Let's part on good terms. We don't have the best chance of making this invitation check, but I want to go for it. And now apologize to me as well. When you falsely accused my ally, you accused me too. Failed. Don't push it. Karazme turns to leave, but she hesitates and adds, good luck to the both of you. And then she slowly walks out. Very slowly. Woljif watches her go, his tail relaxing. Better than nothing. Listen, Chief, when you've got a spare minute, come see me. There's something I want to discuss with you. But for now, let's get out of here. I don't like sitting below ground when the building above is ready to crash down on our heads. So true, so true. Did you think Karazme would forget to lock a vault with a pile of money in it? You should be so lucky. If you want to clear the cobwebs out of them pockets of yours, you're going to have to try harder. She actually
Might be trapped. Might
did
be
leave it unlocked. Believe it or not, Woljif. Oh. Is that a hidden wall? What? I don't think I've ever passed that perception check before. Yo! Oh my god! I never knew that was there. That's super cool. Oh, we just get a comma at kukri. And Thiefling's account book. This is interesting. I've never seen this. Balance, 2,500 gold. Doffy, alchemical tools and reagents, 185. Violin, antique, needs approval. Woljif, magic scrolls, 420. Nice. Working the square, 15 gold. I bet the swindler got 5 times the amount and pocketed the difference. I need to give that rogue a good scare next time. Oh, this is like everyone who puts in. Doffy. Good. Tavi, 370. Grima, magic rings. Handbound books. Violin worth 5 gold. Note. Do not send Dalna on a job by herself. Charisma, 400 gold taken out. Informers, contacts, other expensive. Again, balance, 2,390. Here, the handwriting changes drastically. The letters are now small, scrawly, and hectic. Balance, 2,390 gold, but there's only 1,500 in the chest. Some shitheads got their hands on my treasury. I'll bet my horns it's Woljif, that rotten mug. Next time I see that bloody swine, he's going to the farm. Although Woljif put the most in out of anyone, so that's that's great. I didn't know that there was like a secret fucking thing there. That's awesome. Lockpicking kit, that's nice. +1 bonus on all trickery skill checks. We are gonna give that to Camellia, because we are going to keep Camellia in our party for a long time. Sorry, Woljif, but you will not be here
What's
for
on your mind?
ever.
I wonder.
I do wonder. I guess it's just always on. You don't have to like toggle it. So now we're going to go speak to Woljif at the Defender's Heart. Putting into this fucking long as shit quest. After fighting 2 more giant spiders, I'm sure. I bet it's gonna be 2 giant spiders.
The heartbeat quickens.
Oh no, it is some Baphomet cultists. How exciting.
Cover me, all right?
Oh my god. Oh man. He fucking blew him up. He did so much damage. He blew him up.
I'll rip you apart!
Oh man. I don't want to be on the receiving end of Woljif. Holy shit, he's gonna run up, deal 19 damage, and blow me the fuck up. Good lord. Dude, I don't know how many hit points I have in real life, but it is not 19. It's probably like 6, 7, maybe 8, generously. Fucking... I don't have much constitution, bro. I don't think I have a negative constitution. I might. It might be -1. So it's probably like 7 or 5. Or no, 7 or 6 or something like that, depending on what class I would qualify as. I can't imagine it qualifies as a fucking marshal. Get like a...
Psst, look, Chief. I got something to show you. Ta-da! A real beaut, isn't it?
Oh, thank God. These lines are voiced. So I gotta do some reading though. Woljif comes closer and looks around quickly to make sure no one is eavesdropping. He makes a subtle gesture and an amulet on a chain appears in his hand. A silver amulet in the shape of a waning moon and a dark crystal in the middle. The moon of the abyss. So you did betray the thieflings.
Oh, that cuts me deep, Chief. You and I saw who the traitor was. It's just that when we robbed the shop, I went in first and took what I wanted. Nothing wrong with that. Although, of course, I did think about hiding the moon and just taking myself off somewhere warm when all this blows over, but only because I want to see the world. Is it a crime to want to travel? Huh? Is that what counts for treachery these days?
Woljif is silent for a moment, then a cunning grin crosses his face. Did you really have the amulet this whole time?
Since that night, Chief, Melround didn't even set eyes on it. While he was dealing with the golem, I sneaked past them, and that was that.
Woljif grins pleased. Remind me, why is this item so important?
Do you really not remember it? Oh, I thought you would appreciate it. It's from the old man Fileman, the owner of the Ancient Trees and Wonders shop. It's the pride of his collection. The Moon of the Abyss. An amulet with a rare crystal crafted by an unknown maker. When I think of how much this thing is worth, it makes my head spin.
You've been searched by the guards. How did you manage to hide the amulet?
Thieves have their ways.
Why didn't you give the amulet to Charisme right away?
What? So she would slay me right away, you mean? You saw how antsy she was over Canabras and all this. So I did it. I took the Moon of the Abyss. But I didn't go to Erebeth. And Big Sister wouldn't hear my explanations. She doesn't have the time. I even thought I'd hide the moon somewhere, and then when all the noise had died down, I'd go get it and make a run for it. I'm sick of the thieflings. And they never appreciated me anyway.
Why did you steal the Moon of the Abyss? You wouldn't have been able to sell an item so rare anyway.
Why, he asks? It's expensive. Pretty. And you know, it's my amulet, actually. Not meaning I stole it, but I mean, this is my inheritance. My grandma and I were poor. All we had was a jewelry box with the moon in it. She used to store it under the floor in the basement, and she'd take it out sometimes just to look at it. She was always nicer when she had a few drinks in her, so I could ask her things then. One time I asked where she got it from, and she said it was from a demon. You know, the demon who was my grandfather. He said the moon was to be passed down. My mom was good for nothing and nobody, so that's why Grandma decided to keep the amulet for me. She used to say it would be mine when I grew up. But she couldn't wait until I grew up. She squandered my inheritance when she became a drunk. Took it to Fileman's shop and pawned it. He gave her some coppers for it, and she didn't even haggle. Just grabbed them and ran back to the tavern before last orders.
Good lord, dude. She sold it for so little?
I've been going to Fileman's to look at the moon ever since I was a kid. He chased me away, but I just kept going back, so eventually he gave up. He didn't skimp on security. The place was like a fortress, so he wasn't worried about a street rat like me pinching anything. Even when I got more skilled, I couldn't get any closer to it. One day, I had no one to go with. Another day, there were only oafs who'd never stolen anything more than a church donation box. But when Charisme had planned everything out, I realized I had a chance to get the moon and move away from here. Maybe to Garand. I hear it's warmer there. I've stayed with the family for too long.
Risking everything for some shiny trinket.
This isn't just some shiny trinket. First, maybe some rich person's just dying to buy it. We need to put out some feelers and see if anyone's in the market. Second, maybe it'll come in handy. And besides, I spent so many years looking at it. I imagine things like, what if my grandfather left something else and my grandma spent that too? Maybe I could have had my own barony already if things had turned out differently. Or got some decent education in the capital. They're all just dreams, but the moon is right here. You've got to hold on to what's yours, Chief.
It's your business, not mine.
Allies, friends, it's all a load of crap. Life brings us together, forces us to make plans, do whatever it is we do, but it's a safe bet that this ain't forever. I might be a traitor, but the others, are they any better than me? Melround had a good reputation in the family. He was trusted, and you see what happened. If you abide by the law, anyone can rob you. So you need to break the law first when no one expects it, and run before you go soft and get too attached.
I love it when the voice actors clearly have no idea what the fuck they're saying. They're just like handed, you read this, here you go, read this out loud. He pronounced it Melround here, and up here, I don't know where it was, but he pronounced it Melroon. So this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's saying. But he does a good job as a voice actor still. It's just like, I don't know how they recorded the voices. Maybe someone in the booth didn't catch that.
Whatever you think, I owe you. I'm not just a thief. I have my own business selling things. Thanks to you, I'm still in the family. And well, I mean, we have the black market sewn up in this city. It's a good way to sell valuables.
Making sure no one is going to take the amulet from him, Woljif hides it under his shirt and folds his arms on his chest.
So, if you need anything, a scroll or something, just say the word. I have a little portal to our people in Nerosian. You put a note there, and you get what you need. I can't get you anything big, but what they do have is all high quality. Nothing's too good for you, Chief. What's mine is yours. For a price, of course.
So true. Woljif is standing, repeatedly flipping a coin in the air and catching it. He looks bored, but the tip of his tail is twitching nervously. Noticing you, he perks up. Hey, Chief, how about letting me go? Why would you need a thief in your party? What if I rob you in your sleep? I'm not going to for now, but what if I get a rush of inspiration? Are you really staying in the party or just waiting for a chance to run off? Woljif gives you a hurt look. As if I could. There are demons and dangers around every corner. The tiefling stops short. Don't worry, Chief. I'll work off my debt honestly. I won't stab you in the back or go on a run with your money. And if you buy my wares, I won't have to leave at all. So you can tell him, like, if you just let him go, he'll go. He'll leave. But, like, he doesn't come back. He's just gone from the game forever. So, you know, I don't want that because I want to complete his quests. Show me what you can get with your tiefling connections. Holy shit. His face breaks into happy grin. Let me show you what I can do. Or whatever. Who cares? Let's see. I need to copy that. But right now... right now, these things are not particularly exciting. Although as the game goes on, he does get better items. He does get much better... Well, he does get much better items for sale. So, you want to come back to him, usually act after act. Did we actually speak to Anevia at all? Anevia, in her muted colors, blends almost perfectly into the background. She appears relaxed, but her seemingly unfocused eyes are taking in everything around her, tracking and filtering potential threats. The only tell is the way she drums her fingers on her hip near her weapon sheath. She shows no sign of her injuries and confidently leans on her previously broken leg. She pretends to have just noticed you, even though she watched you approach from afar. Oh, hey! See how they patched me up? Now I can run, jump, or dance a jig if I feel like it. Are there any suspicious places in the city I should pay attention to? There are a couple spots I wanted to check out, but I didn't have time. If there really is a den of cultists there, it would be good if you could sweep in there and bust some heads. You don't even need a search warrant. Anevia shoots you a crooked smile. First one is the Silken Thread. It's a funny little tailor shop that doesn't take any orders and never buys any fabric, but they always seem oh so busy. They're busy with something in there, all right, but sewing it ain't. Second one is the alchemy shop, Topaz Solutions, and they trade in everything, not just healing potions. Judging by the ingredients they've been buying off the black market, there's something fishy about the alchemical rituals going down in that place. I have to go. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you and get your whole fucking life backstory later. Right now, I just don't really feel like hearing it. I will say this playthrough is definitely forcing me. I could have sold all that earlier. This playthrough is definitely forcing me to slow down and kind of take in everything more, but also like holy shit, slowing down is annoying as fuck. Oh man. So we definitely want to go to the market square at last. Today's been a busy day. For our humble group of crusaders. Alright. We're entering the Canabras Square, which has been shredded in two by Dascari's mighty scythe. And there's a few things we're going to want to do here on the square. We're not going to go for much longer. I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours, just this stream. If you count the previous stream that I did, that was about an hour. So I've been streaming for something like 3 hours. What could possibly create cracks like these? The answer is the Scari's massive fucking scythe. So also the market square is huge, as you can see. What's that? I get like shiny sounds over there. That's interesting. I don't know what that is actually. So we're just gonna do a little bit here. We're gonna resolve this combat, and then we're going to
Rely on me.
in the session. And I don't know when we'll pick it up next, but we will pick it up eventually.
This spell's faulty. No, really.
Sure it is.
Let me draw the first blood.
No. Okay, well maybe not just this combat, because it was very, very short. Also, we want Camellia in front there, not Woljif. Let's see. There should be around here somewhere. There's yeah, here we go. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is a bit of a, from what I remember this combat, this is a bit of a situation.
You can
We
trust
will
me.
win this war.
I trust you, don't worry about it.
Ask nicely. This spell's faulty. No, really.
So we're gonna charge into combat, kill the shit out of that archer. And now we've got quite a bit to deal with here. These marauders, I think both have a level in barbarian. Yeah, they're both level 2 barbarians, so they're a bit of a pain in the ass.
The inheritor. Guide
Critical hit,
my
holy
blade.
shit. Sela doesn't fuck around. I could Evil Eye or Bless Up, but there's not really a point against these guys.
Spirits demand your blood.
Unfortunately, these barbarians just keep fucking fighting. I don't really feel a need to activate Rage at the moment. I could just let it play out, but
Stab you or zap you. Why not
things
both?
can go very wrong very quickly in Pathfinder. And that guy just exploded. So it's good to at least kind of scope the combat out in turn-based mode. But it seems pretty obvious now that we've got this in the bag, even though these guys are stunned because of the color spray there. But Anric just beat the shit out of him with his masterwork scimitar. A whole 9 damage. Holy shit. Really fucking unstoppable guy here. I think Woljif, we can have Woljif copy some spells here. But there's not too much point in it. There's not really a point in equipping Woljif with any armor. And I guess I could have him cast Mage Armor right now. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna end here because right over there is a very important character that we will meet later in the next session. Also, it's a lot of dialogue that as the session has proven, I'm kind of just done with. So thank you so much for not watching this far, because I know you didn't, and if you did, you definitely skipped here. There's no way you watched all of this. It was a very boring episode. Session, not episode. But I feel pretty good. I want to talk a bit about how I feel now, because I think it's pretty good to be in tune with how you're feeling, and I think an important part is I need to express how I'm feeling as well. I think that this is going well. I look forward to continuing to play the game on stream. I think, given that this episode is like fucking 3.5 hours long, if you count episode 3 and just this is 3.5, or we're getting to 4 hours, maybe, but if I just was playing without talking here, if I was playing without talking, I'd probably be halfway through Act 1 or more at this point. That includes like from the start of the shield maze, or like from the start of the prologue. I'd just be running through this stuff as fast as possible. So it's definitely forcing me to slow down and think a lot more about the story. And I feel like even if no one else is watching, I feel like I am getting some kind of like personal enrichment or something from this. I'm definitely appreciating the game a lot more. But goddamn, it's taking a long time. This is definitely going to take a lot longer than I thought it would. The great scale of the game is just starting to kick in mentally in my mind. This will probably take longer than my first playthrough did. My first playthrough took like 100 hours, I want to say. And this is definitely going to take longer than that. So this is going to take a very long time. I would like to stream more often and get this, do this more often. But there are some realities of my current situation. My roommate has been spending a lot more time in the room this semester than he used to. Last semester, that guy would just kind of leave and I wouldn't see him for 2 weeks, which, like, cool. I was fine with, personally, because, like, you know, yeah, sure, I'll take the room to myself. But now, of course, that I'm starting to stream, he's spending more time here. And it's just a one-room situation. Like, I sleep in a bed that's right there. He sleeps in a bed that's right over there. So, like, we're in the same room all the time whenever he's here. And he's a fine guy, and I like him. He's a great roommate when he's here. I really can't complain, and I mean that. It's just that I don't personally feel comfortable streaming while there's another person in the room. That's just a bit uncomfortable for me. Also, like, he and his girlfriend will just fucking, like, lay in bed and they'll watch The Office. Like, there's a TV back there. Yeah, there's like a TV back there, and they'll just like lay in bed and they'll watch The Office like fucking all day. And I don't like The Office very much, or not that I don't like it. I guess I just haven't seen it. I just haven't seen The Office, but I can hum every single fucking second of that theme song now because I have heard it so many times in the past week that it's insane, and it is stuck in my mind, and I just want it to go, but it won't. If only I could evict it. These goddamn tenants have too many rights. All that to say, not all that to say, one more thing to say. Next Friday, Dying Light 2 comes out. So, I'm definitely going to be playing that, which I'm very, very excited for. And that will definitely eat into the time that I would be streaming this game. There's also the release of the DLC, the first DLC for this game on February 15th, or I think on February 15th or February 12th. I don't remember the date. And that's very, very exciting. I don't know. Well, my character, Anric Relan here, is certainly not going to be high enough level to go through that by the time that rolls around. So I don't know if I'm going to live stream that or if I'm just going to play through that on my own and then do a thoughts video or something like that. We'll see. We'll see how that goes, I guess. All that to say, this is going to take a super, super, super long time. And if you are watching, and I do mean this, it really does mean a lot to me. Thank you. Even if you put this on and fell asleep like an hour ago. 3 hours ago. And that still means a lot to me. Thank you very much. I'll stop rambling now. I think I already saved. Yeah. Holy fuck, how much time have I put it? 6 hours already. Dude, if we look at my previous save, I put 2 hours, 14 minutes. That was spoilers, don't look at that. I put like 2 hours, 14 minutes into that save. And that's like the save before the final boss. So like me having 6 hours and I'm not even like halfway through Act 1 is like crazy. Act 1 isn't even very long. It's goddamn insane. So in any event, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again next time.